Mo, this is episode 100, son.
100, babe.
Episode 100. They the people don't know what we did. They know, but like they don't know what we've been through.
But they ain't ready. Salams alaikum, man. This is
yeah. What's going on? We got the
Blessed.
live going. We got the IG live rolling. We're rolling the podcast right now. So if you were listening to this and you're not on, you done got left.
lights, camera, action.
All right. So if you're listening to this, what we did a few days ago, or a couple of days, or I think it might just be yesterday. We announced that we're doing a live Q&A. So what we're doing is we're answering questions that people sent into us via the DMs or email, what have you, however you listen to this. And we're going to be answering those questions, and we're also going to be going live on IG, which we're live right now. Salam. And you can ask your questions live on IG as we are recording episode 100.
Come on,
of the Yall
man.
podcast.
Y'all about to be spoiled. Y'all are literally getting a live.
Well, be humble. Be humble, bro.
It's our first time doing this.
Yeah.
We usually edit it and then we put it out when it's needed. But people getting a sneak peek. And for those that aren't on the IG and only listening to on the pod, then, I got to look out for them. That's the only reason.
Okay, got you. He's sticking up for y'all.
I like ya.
In some way, weird form, he's sticking up for y'all. But all right, so listen, we're already live right now. We're going to pull up the questions that people asked us yesterday, and we're just going to get rolling.
How we going to pull up the question if we ain't going to pull up with the intro?
Ooh.
Come on, fam.
See, but we know, like, that's that chemistry. All right, let's get him on. You already know, baby.
Let's go, baby. 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And you are listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hey, like Jabril was saying, we are rolling with episode 100. And what we are doing today, we are answering your questions. Like my boy Gary Vaynerchuk says, you ask the questions and we answer them.
You asked and we answer.
That's not my boy, but actually,
that's my man.
That's my man's. That's my man's.
Hold on, let me find these questions real quick.
Yes, don't worry. I already screenshotted a few of them.
I should get all of them, or just a few.
Unless they set some more in.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna start off with this one because it's a really good one, Jabril, and I'm gonna ask you this question: what is your earliest childhood memory?
So, I was in a very dark place. And then all of a sudden, I saw a light, and something just told me to swim towards it. Just go. And so I worked my way,
okay,
and I got to like this sphere, giant sphere. Everybody was calling it the egg.
Were you on a slide?
No, I was on the stairway to heaven. No, my earliest childhood memory, I don't know. I don't know. Why'd you start off with that question? Like, what?
Get the brain moving. Okay, let me go ahead and I'll answer that. One of my earliest childhood memories is definitely back when I lived in DC for 1 year. I was probably 4. All right, and then we were at the park, and I remember I had like a soccer ball, and I was playing with my uncle. Rest in peace, who had passed away. We were just kicking the ball back and forth, and that's it.
Memories. Sweet memories. I think one of my earliest childhood memories is going to the flea market with my mom and dad. It was an outdoor flea market. There was this guy, Mr. Herman. He had a really deep voice like this. Mm-hmm. And he looked like James Earl Jones. Yeah, I remember those days. Those are the good days, man. All right, so here's a good question by our girl Ayana Sharif. She said, what made you guys want to start the podcast? I think that's a very appropriate question considering we're on episode 100. So if we go back to the very beginning, I think what made us want to start a podcast was the fact that we had a lot of life experience before this. And we wanted to be able to take everything that we had learned and accumulated, all the good, the bad, the not so ugly, because, look at this. And we wanted to give that to other people because we felt like there's got to be somebody that can benefit from the stuff we've been through. People are probably going through it as well. So we put that out there. We've been, just giving our truth 100%, regardless of how people are going to look at it or judge or whatever. because we understood that there's a growing community of young Muslims who are getting into the shenanigans, but there's also a growing number of Muslims who are trying to get better in their iman, in their faith, and so on and so forth. So that's how we started this, and yeah, like here we are 100 episodes later.
Yeah, that's definitely the reason why we started. I mean, it was at the point where we had these conversations in college all the time, and then when we graduated, we still had those conversations, but it would literally be between us. And I'm like, yo, bro, look, we're having hour-long, even 2-hour-long conversations, not about the same thing, but definitely along the same lines in regards to just topics and issues. So we're like, yo, bro, I said, honestly, bro, I'm tired of hearing you. Somebody else got to listen to you. We're like, yo, let's put it through the airways and get this joint circulating. That's exactly what we did. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So. Oh, man.
Great first question going off. We got plenty more.
Oh, man. This one right here from Noor Ali. It's going to hurt some feelings. What's your favorite episode / guest so far on the podcast? And congrats. Appreciate you, Sister Noor.
Hey, thank you, Noor.
Cali.
Noor is a real one. And speaking, just a quick shout out to Noor. Noor was one of the first women, the first Muslim woman podcast that we engaged with. And we used her as like, hey, like we see what she's doing. Like we should go ahead after and model what we're doing after that. So she has a very good podcast, This Muslim Girl podcast. And yeah, so thank you, Noor. She's been around from the very beginning, like literally the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So you answer the question? What was the question again?
What's your favorite episode / guest so far? I think we should do both because I think. Yeah. Tell me about your favorite episode just between us.
Favorite episode?
Another one. Guess.
Oh man, that is hard, bro. Right. I'm not gonna lie, that is hard. I really enjoyed doing the Ramadan series with Imam Munir Muhammad. I really enjoyed the Ramadan series, and I think a lot of people got a lot of benefit out of it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say who's my favorite guest because I love everybody that we get on. I think they all offer something very unique. Aww. That's my PC answer. Hey, but I valued that episode a lot because it helped out a lot of people, and it really prepped even us like for Ramadan, being able to sit and listen and ask questions and things like that as well.
Right there. Hey, right on time, subhanAllah.
Just gave you a big old shout out. Favorite. What about you? Who's your favorite guest?
Let me go to favorite episode and then we can
we're asking Noor's question right now.
Right, my favorite episode, and is actually our second most listened to episode, was the New Year's with us. Remember that one? It was the New Year's with the Young Muslim fam.
Was it going into 2019?
Going into 2020.
Oh yeah. I forgot what we talked about.
We were just talking about some of our goals, how to kind of like set goals, what we got going on. The reason why that's my favorite episode, because all that stuff that we talked about was a lie. Compared to what's going on in 2020. So it's good to listen back to, like, we had good hopes and good dreams and aspirations, but ain't none of that actually happened. So
well, I mean, and I don't think that's any of the fault of our own. You know what I'm saying? Man, we have so many episodes. I feel like I need to look at the list of them. I definitely like the Patience and Contentment. That was probably one of my favorite ones we've done recently. That was a really, really good one. And even Independency, because I feel like with those two, recently we've had a lot of stuff going on with COVID. So like to talk about those things and then put that out there was really, really cool to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But honestly, I'll be real with you. The very first episode is one of my favorite.
You're talking about the beginning?
Yeah, the very first. It's my favorite because of the conditions. We didn't know what we were doing. Mm-hmm. We had the mic. We were talking in the microphones like this. We were recording in the Christian Broadcasting Network. So there was like church music going on in the background, but it was really the beginning. And I think we attacked it head on. So for me, that's definitely one of my favorite episodes, most memorable episodes. Mm-hmm. What was one episode you were like really, really excited to record?
One episode that after I recorded it, I really, really was pretty hyped after it. Was definitely with Mustafa Briggs and Yusuf, because out of all the guests, they were like at our age, and I think
the way it happened was crazy. That was a crazy episode.
Where we recorded, what time we recorded, the freestyle that we did.
Should we get them the story behind that? Or?
I mean, we can go into a little bit. I think you shared it before, but I think it might be good to just reiterate it.
All right, so long story, not as long as it's going to be. So when we got up with Mustafa, we didn't know him or Yusuf. I knew who Mustafa was because of his profile, right? And so I was following him, and I had like recently followed him, and I saw that he was on tour doing his Beyond Bilal tour here in the United States. And I saw that he was in DC, and he had linked up with Tariq Toure, who we had just recorded with on a Saturday. So it's a Sunday, and I'm looking on Mustafa's profile. I was like, yo, they linked together. That's dope. So I messaged him. I think it might have been like Monday. I messaged him because he would like have some flight issues or whatever. And so I messaged Mustafa, and I was like, yo, I hope next time you come, we'll be able to like link with you, and we can get together. So hit me next time you're here. No reply. Right. So I was like, it is what it is. I'm not expecting anything. So then Tuesday, we're at work. Me and him were working at the same place in office job at the time. And I get a text from him at like 2. He's like, bro, are you down to kick it? We're having to come back to DC. Long story short, some crazy stuff happened on their flight. They had to come back here. And he was like, I need a haircut and I need a ride. I'm at the Apple store. And I looked at him. I was like, yo, we got to leave this job.
He was at Dulles Airport, and we worked 10 minutes away from the airport. I was like, yo.
But then we ended up meeting him at Apple store. And so we got with him and Yusuf. We hung out. Like we talked. We caught up. And what was crazy was I had like made a dua like the day before. Like I was looking at story. I was like, oh Allah, just like put us in the rooms with the right people to kind of help get guests on in the pod and so on and so forth. And boom, like literally the very next day, God was like, oh, for real? Like there you go. So like put it right there in front of us, right in our lap. And Yusuf and Mustafa is still 2 of our best friends, outside of this area. And we talked to him. I just talked to Mustafa not too long ago. So no, that was definitely a crazy experience. And we ended up recorded that episode at like 1 a.m. And we didn't even ask. They were like, yo, like I see y'all got a podcast. Can we get on? We're like, yeah, boom. And we just chopped it up.
You should have asked.
Hey, salam. It's good. I can't pull any of this stuff up on my phone.
You want me to go to the next question?
Yeah, let's go to the next question.
All right. Great.
No further question. That was a good question, by the way.
Yes. Great. Next question by Camp Khalil. Shout out. Literally one of the best camps out there, youth camps.
Yeah.
If you had unlimited financial freedom, how would you use it?
You want to give that a go first?
Yeah, so first thing I would do is sleep. I need to catch up a lot on that. So it definitely has changed. When I was younger, I'm like, if I had unlimited financial freedom. So that doesn't mean like I hit the lottery, right? That means it's different, because what financial freedom means is that not only do I have money in the bank, but that means that I have money coming in, passive income, which is mailbox money, mailbox money. That means that's money coming in, and it's enough money that can surpass my expenses, such as rent, mortgage, whatever it is. If I had it, what I would do is teach people also how to get it right. And I'd be podcasting full time. We would be at 300 episodes by now. And then literally would teach people how to make more money. I would create more businesses. Definitely will be lawyering up. Definitely going to be hiring the best lawyers and attorneys and accountants to protect my assets and to protect my ass. You feel me? Then I would definitely give to the charities that I believe in, help my family out, create more businesses, and do what I love. So, which is this.
You have a very well thought answer.
Yes.
All right, let me go.
Now it's Jabril's turn.
You know how we do. We don't be saying nothing on the live. People just be wondering what we're doing, right? We're actually recording the episode, guys. So join in with your questions.
Jabril probably buy Liverpool.
Yeah. you know me well. I wouldn't buy Liverpool. I would have bought them. No, I would just pay them to let me play like 5 minutes of injury time. Oh my god. Yeah, that's the one thing. All right. Yeah. Oh boy.
I didn't think about that. I like that.
I would pay them enough money just to let me play in the last minutes of. We could be playing like a bunch of high school kids. Like, let me just get in the game and play one professional game with Liverpool.
But I hope they don't treat you like, hey, everybody get out the way and let them score. Like everybody stand up like.
Everybody's like, hey.
No, my man can actually ball.
Nah. I'm gonna be beside Van Dyke, balling, boy, balling. Honestly, I would travel. I would travel, and I would travel to some of the poorer places in the world and give charity. Like I would try and take those places and develop them. Give free housing. I think free housing is something that, you know, we're in a place in the world where like everybody should have a place to live, right? Yeah. I think it would be really cool to see some rural areas become more metropolitan, so like better roads and stuff. Like really, I would be very practical with money. Mm-hmm. But if I had an unlimited amount of money, like there's no need to start a business. I would take the money and help build infrastructure around the world in places where there's no infrastructure. And yeah, I would go that route. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What else would I do? I would definitely buy a plane. I would buy a cheetah.
A cheetah?
Yep, a cheetah.
Wow.
A cheetah. I would buy a horse farm. I'll buy a bunch of ocean front property in Africa. I would buy Mexico.
The whole country?
Yeah, the whole country. The whole thing. Wow. I'll buy Canada as well.
Hey.
And I would leave America to the birds.
Hey, they said unlimited money. You got to talk about politics here, bro. You might be short.
Oh, wow.
All right. Next question?
Yes, sir.
Bro, this right here is literally my favorite question. You might have to go on your phone and look at those questions instead of getting up. All right. And this question right here, I want some people on the live to answer it. It says, if the internet ceases, it's from Cam Kalo 2, shout out. If the internet ceases to stop existing, how would you spend your days outside of praying? So there's no more internet. What you gonna do? Internet shut down.
I wouldn't do my life any different. Like we just talked about this. I have a lot of different goals and things that I've recently decided that I'm giving my full attention to, like no distractions, and travel for me, and building my businesses, building the podcast, doing what I'm doing now is exactly what I would do if there was no internet. Like I don't see that changing.
Yeah, it would be. I definitely would agree with that. It would just be more difficult because it would be harder to link with people. Just because with internet shows like where are people at, so you would have to have my number. At that point.
So are they saying that if the internet never existed, or like if right now
the internet just
went away?
It just went away like today.
I mean, if the internet went away today, then I feel like I would just know who I know, and then like cool, I know enough people internationally where I can link up with y'all. We can call, and then we can figure things out. Or you gotta do it like people did before. Like, how did my granddad meet people that lived in India? Well, he traveled and he worked a job that sent him. It's like, yo, it's not that complicated. We need to get off of our phones and get out into the world.
Stop being lazy.
It's simple.
I'll have to pull up to Jabril's house and knock on his door like, hey, is Jabril here? No. Okay, when's he coming back? I don't know.
Jabril come out and play?
Right. I'll go back to playing outside.
Oh, what, bro? Those are the days where you just go over a friend's house and knock on the door and just to see if they're there.
No, he's not here. When's he coming? Oh, he went out to the store. Cool. Gone.
No, the best times is when you get all your friends and walk to the store.
Yeah, right.
Those are the best of days, bro.
Walk anywhere, do anything.
Get into the shenanigans, you feel me?
Yes.
Oh man, what other questions we got? Cause
right, let's go. Ooh,
let me ask you this.
Sir.
With the internet being here, how are you trying to manage your time so that you don't get sucked into the world of the internet? Because it's very easy. Like all of us are on, all these people, all y'all do is get on Instagram all day. No offense, but the truth is all of us do. We get on Instagram, we get on Facebook, then we get off of Instagram, then we get back on Instagram and like something changed. It's like we're just looking at pictures of each other. So how are you now with the internet trying to get away from the internet?
So I think it's definitely certain times of the day, like when I'm using it. So what I've been trying to stop, and I want to completely stop, is that when the first thing I do when I wake up, that needs to be my time. Like I can't be checking my phone because I'm already out of whack because I just woke up. You know what I mean? So I just been saying, alhamdulillah, and I was telling you this, bro. People need to understand that your body, your mind, and your soul need time to all connect, right? Because you might be awake, but your mind is still sleeping. So you might be up physically, but your mind is still dozed off. So you need some time to just stand up, like, all right, cool, let me go wash my face. Let me go brush my teeth. Let me go do my bed. Let me meditate. Let me chill. Let me get let me get zenned out so I can become one. The problem is that when you turn the phone on and you get notifications, all that gets just impaired. You know what I mean? Like all that just goes out the window. So before I go to sleep and when I wake up, I want that time to be me. And I want to stop reacting to stuff when I see it online. Like I could be having a good day and I see it on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I'm in there arguing with somebody or just some BS in there.
A long time ago.
So I'm just like, a few days ago there was something on Facebook. I wrote something and somebody opposed to it and they started like coming at me. I wrote a whole response. I was like, yo, I don't have to answer. I was like, delete. And then they kept answering. I just never answered and they just stopped. I was like, oh yeah.
Like I stopped replying to controversial Facebook posts like 2 years ago.
Yep.
Because it was pointless. Like you aren't going to gain anything. I don't gain anything. And everything's contextual. So context is lost in text and stuff like that. So
that's a good point.
I stopped doing that a long time ago. You know, one thing that has helped me, and I feel like all you guys will definitely benefit from this, is cutting off your notifications.
Yeah, bro.
So I only see messages and stuff on IG when I get on IG.
Bro, notifications are killer.
Yeah, it creates this unnecessary anxiety. Like, oh my God, they're gonna yo, how many likes? Like, man, look. To be honest, I'm about to start doing something completely different with my IG.
What's that?
I'm about to go back to doing it how I used to do it. You remember because you remember before everybody had IG, I had IG, right? And I was just posting anything and everything and just like, but it told a story. It told a story of what was going on in life that made, that was like fun. Like what was happening. Always miss the live feeds. Nah, we here, cuz. We just started. You ain't no thing. We actually got a question on the live. I want to check that out really quick.
Why don't you just check that IG?
Oh yeah, you're right. Just check it from right here.
Check it from the phone, man. Okay, my man got so in tune with it. I'm not even checking it. Yeah, now, I like the notifications thing because it's really plays a big part, especially when you post online and this is part of your work as a content creator, right? You post something, try to check the insights and then who's doing that. It would be nice to check the insights like maybe every 4 hours, 8 hours, just in increments, you know? Yeah. But when you go in there and checking it every single second, like that doesn't help nobody, including yourself. So another thing.
So Amir asked us, he said, when did y'all post your very first podcast episode? So,
like what date?
So Amir asked us, when did you post your very first podcast episode? You got it.
Okay, so you said when? Are we talking about the date or?
I mean, there's only one thing that when means.
Okay, I'm
when
sorry.
When only means one thing.
When did you post it? In 1986.
Can you be more specific with your question?
All right. We posted it. I gotta go back and check because
our first episode was posted May 15th.
Was it?
No. Actually, it was May 5th, I think. It might have been May 5th.
It's definitely between May 5th to May 15th.
Yeah, because it was right around the time of Ramadan starting.
2018.
Yeah. So it was starting around that time. So 2018, that was our first episode. So we got a question from Sister Amina. She asked, if you have the choice of having anywhere in the world, of living anywhere in the world, the phone's very far, where would you choose? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
Man, that is difficult. Definitely choose a country that I've never been to, and to be more specific, where would I want to live? I've been to the Middle East, I've been to Africa, I've been to South America.
You went to Mexico. Yeah. That's not even South America. That's still North America.
That's the Americas. Oh man,
I would move to South Korea. I would go to South Korea for a bit.
No way.
Mm-hmm. I would go to South Korea.
Being the cut.
I'm still considering it. I don't see why not. Like,
I would like to go to the islands. Remember Dave told us about a country called Brunei? Were you there when Dave was telling us about that country?
Nah. Oh man, I miss Dave, bro. That is, know what I'm talking about? Bro, that's one interesting dude, bro.
Brunei, that would be the country I would go to. I heard it's a very relaxed culture, and they said there is no alcohol there. Everybody is cooling.
Yeah.
And no weapons.
Nice. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a nice chill island would be nice. But no, I want to live in South Korea. One, because it's super clean. I think the culture there is pretty dope. They have some of the best movies I've ever seen. I also think that it would just be a change of scenery, completely different. And they have a good mix of this new, like very pop style culture, plus they stay very much in tune with their traditional culture, their Korean culture. So yeah, I'd be very interested to check that out.
All right. Next question.
Hold up. Next question. What's one thing you want to do but didn't get the chance to? Iman, thank you for your question. And Iman is an A1 Day 1 as well.
She is.
We don't forget about you, A1 Day 1s. Don't ever forget that.
I already know mine.
I'm not dead yet, so I can still do everything that I've wanted to do.
So up to this day, I would definitely have to say becoming an R&B singer. That You laughing? I'm not gonna lie.
You know what's funny?
That was my dream. See you laughing, though. That's
Nah, bro. Like, I'm going to tell you, but like for your birthday, I was going to get you some singing lessons. You think I'm joking? I'm gonna buy you a master class on how to sing, bro.
The closest I can get right now to becoming an R&B superstar is when I'm giving the adhan or saying
that ain't. You know, I'll be real with you, bro.
I would close my eyes and imagine on stage. Allah,
Allah. I'm like, yo, Mo, are you good, bro? Why's your neck like contorting when you call Allah? Like, bro, chill out, bro. Nah, bro, we can't start off prayer like that.
I got headphones on too. Like, what are you doing?
Oh. Ooh,
yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh man. If what's one thing I want to do but haven't done? I want to get a motorcycle. I've always wanted to ride a dirt bike or a motorcycle, but I was always too scared to do it. Like I was always too scared to do it, and yeah, to this day, that's one thing I wish I would have did as a kid, and I never did. No, you know what? No, that's untrue. I was talking to my mom. That's true. That's definitely true. But I was talking to my mom last night, and my great grandma, my grandfather's mom. I remember her growing up. She passed when I was like 7, right? And before her house was demolished, I never got the chance to actually go up the stairs to see the rooms. So the memory that I actually have of her house stops at the stairs.
Oh wow!
And it's crazy. Like if you remember the movie Inception, you've seen Inception, right?
Yeah.
There's a point where it's like your memory doesn't remember it, so it's like it's scattered. And so I remember like that's how it feels for me. It's like I see the steps, but it's like this, like what's above there is always dark. I never see it. That's crazy. So there's one thing I wish I would have done. It was to have just risked it all and got eaten by the boogeyman that was living upstairs in my great grandma's house.
Oh wow!
I wish. Hey. We got another question coming in on the live.
Keep them coming. Yeah, that's a phenomenal question, man. Keep them coming.
How did y'all meet? Ooh.
What?
It's a real bromance story.
Hey.
It's a real bromance story.
Deep.
Are you telling it? Am I telling it?
I'll tell it. So we met in college, Virginia Wesleyan College, for those that have been following the pod since the beginning. So Jabril lives in Norfolk, Virginia, right? Chesapeake, which is about
put some respect on my city.
Chesapeake, Sono, about half an hour.
20
minutes away from the college. Right,
it was like 25.
And then 25 minutes.
Don't sell me short.
I came here from Northern Virginia, and then I got into the school. I went down there off some random ish. You feel me? I got accepted. And I was like, yo, we out here. So when I got
no, don't skip over the fact that you didn't know what the school looked like. You didn't see the school.
People know I only applied to one school, and that was VCU. I wanted to be next to all the Muslims, all the Habashas, all the Ethiopians. I wanted to be in the mix, but that did not happen. God had better plans for me, so He sent me to the small liberal arts college, 1,500 kids, like big as my high school, right? And then when I got there, I was like, yo, I had no clue what was going on. I saw a picture of the school once. I knew it was next to the beach, and they had a nice soccer team. So I was like, I'm with it. Good. I was like, I'm with it. And then somebody's like, yo, it's a Methodist school. I said, bro, I don't care if it's a Catholic school, bro. Somebody want me to get an education. So I was like, cool. Next thing you know, I pull up to the school and I'm like, look, I'm not off no BS. I'm not trying to make no friends. I'm about to get my grades up 2 years and get out. Then Jabril and I, we're in this thing called FYE, which is first year experience, which counselors are gathering up the kids to make sure that they're doing all right, not really messing up. And the next thing you know, Jabril's looking at me, and then they do roll call, and they're like, yo, Jabril Salam, and they're like, Muhammad Hassan, right? And Jabril just takes a quick cut, just turns his neck like they're like, yo, it's another Muslim, you know what I'm saying?
No. Let me tell that part. I'll tell that part. So we're in this we're in this circle. They put you in a circle, and they're like, all right, everybody, go around, say your name, where you're from, and we'll start there. Senora Risk. Oh man, she was the best. So Mo's 2 people to my right. So we started at the right. The way the Sunnah, and we go. They didn't know that, but we started the right, and then we're coming around, right? Mm-hmm. So I hear Muhammad Hassan. I go, well, I turn. I'm like, and then the girl in between us. I can't remember. Maybe it was Kay. I think it might have been Kay that was in between us.
Might have been Jonte.
Oh, Jonte. Okay, Jonte was in between us. How do you remember that? That's pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. And so, she went, and then I went, yo, you Muslim? And he goes, yeah, and then turns away.
Who asking?
Yeah. He went, yeah. And just turned away, and I was like, I done met my friend. I done met my brother. Yeah. So I just had to tell that part. That part was hilarious.
So yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah. Funny part about that though is that our friendship wasn't always like this. Like when we first met, we really didn't become great friends until I would say the end of the first semester, because
the first semester.
It was well, we weren't Jabril and Mo until second semester, because before it was me, you, and Devontae always together. You remember, because we were inseparable, and Devontae ended up leaving the school, and so then it was me and you, but then we still had our other group of friends, so it was really dope. But what really, really bonded us, what really solidified our brotherhood and our friendship, was that it was Ramadan. Mm-hmm. His first Ramadan away from fam, my first Ramadan away from fam. And how do you make good friends? By breaking bread. Yep. Break bread with people, and I guarantee you that's how you make your best of best friends, right? So I remember specifically, we still hadn't really talked, but we all knew our group of friends. You were with Warren and Pat and all, so we kind of all started talking, whatever. I get in the cafeteria, and I had brought my Tupperware and stuff, and I saw Mo with 2 plates, and he was taking the whole plates and putting them in his backpack, stacking the plates on top of one another. And I was like, yo, bro, you fasting, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, bro, I got Tupperware. And from that day forward, we were like boys, because we would break fast together. We would eat sahur together. I remember we used to go and wake each other up. We would pray Fajr in the morning together. And that's how we got started. Yes, sir. As the dream team.
All right. Yeah. The next question.
Go ahead and ask the next question.
All right, man.
I'll get the cam set up for that.
Cool. You want me to ask it or just wait? Oh. You want me to ask it or wait? Go ahead. All right. Woo.
What's the joint?
Huh?
What's the joint say?
So, it says, how to deal with doubts about faith. I've been struggling with faith a lot lately.
That is a heavy question. We'll answer that one in a couple seconds. I don't want to see that one, but hold on, we're gonna have to come back to that one.
What is it?
The white corporate world while being a practicing Muslim. I like that one.
Oh,
I like that question. That's a great question.
I can probably go on that a little bit more, because I've been stuck in that joint.
All right, so we got the question that just came in. You want to go ahead and answer it?
Okay, what corporate world? Okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Yo,
we're good.
Gucci. Bismillah.
We're good.
All right.
All right.
This was very, very hard for me to navigate, because when I came into my first job after I graduated college, I was like, yo, look, I got a job now. I wasn't as strong in my faith as I am right now, but I'm like, I'm down. You feel me? I was still partying and stuff like that. So when I got to my first job, it didn't help, because it was a job full of college kids.
Yeah. And everybody was just trying to party after work.
Everybody was just working and partying. It was a high stress environment, because all we did was cold call. We would call 120 to 150 people a day. So after work was done, 95% of my coworkers were out drinking, because the job was just so stressful. You feel me? So,
which is crazy that at 21, 22, people are like, I can't take this anymore.
Taco
that's crazy.
Tuesdays and tequila.
It's like, see how fast people settle into their lives. My God.
I guess this is it for me. So I kind of got caught up in that culture pretty quickly because I was the only person, right? But when Ramadan would come, I would fast, but I would still pray though. Like I had like a little room, and I would wash up, and I would go in there praying, and people would see me like, "Oh yeah, you're Muslim." So that did help, but literally it had to be done on my own. And then Jabril really did push me, because one thing that I did not do and navigate was take off for Jummah. I didn't take off for Friday for my first job, because I was like, yo, I just started, bro. Like, and you want me to go and ask my CEO for a 2-hour break on Friday, man? Like, that's not gonna work. He's like, dog, it's an obligation. You got to do it. So
It's the most. What a lot of people don't realize, Jummah, Friday, Jummah is the most important day for the Muslim. It's more important than the Eid. It's more important than
it is
the
Eid, basically.
Qadr. It's more important than the day. It's the most important day for Muslims. Period.
Jummah, there's no joke about that. So.
Period.
It took me some time, but like if I were you, anybody that's trying to navigate it, try to find other individuals that you kind of the buddy system to link up with. You know what I mean? But don't lose your faith, because it's easy, bro. Happy hours, trips, all that stuff, bro. You can lose yourself easily.
Bro, I would simply, my piece of advice for young Muslims going to the workforce is, you need to state you need to get the job first, and once you're in there, be like, listen, you guys know I'm Muslim. I, express my faith, but I had to get Jummah, like Friday prayer. I need this time, and this time for prayer. Bro. I'll come in a little bit early. I'll come in a little bit later, but you guys get, your whole weekend off, and I'm going to get the Eid off. Like, point blank. Like, you guys get Christmas. I want my Eid. Like, it's only fair. It's only fair.
And they're not going to say no. Like,
they can't, because then there's a lawsuit coming, and I will sue.
So all the jobs that I worked for, I was so worried. And after Jabril pushed me, I asked, like, no problem. I was like, oh, it's cool, dude. Oh, okay. It's good. It's good, dude.
It's good, dude. Solid.
So, did you get your piece of advice? Jabril's been grinding on his own, so he really hasn't been in the system for too long.
If I sleep for some white crack.
Hey, okay.
So, someone asked, how many years have you been friends? This year makes, matter of fact, we've been friends for exactly 10 years.
What you looked at?
It's August. It's August. It's August 23rd.
He looked at the time. Okay, 6:25.
It's August 23rd. We've been friends exactly a year, because remember the semester. 10 years, because we met in 2010.
Wow,
bro, this is crazy. We're doing our 100th episode on our anniversary of 10 years of friendship. What?
Because of COVID, we stopped that.
Yeah, nah, we just throw this over.
Black power.
Oh, we got another question.
I like this question right here. It's pretty simple right here, bro. What's the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced? Great question.
Physically painful? Breaking my jaw.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, breaking my jaw was the most painful thing that has ever happened to me. That was bad.
Sheesh.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Someone wants to actually go live with it. So right now we are recording you guys, and you're going to be in the podcast. So
what? We better set the camera on them too?
Yeah, we got the camera sitting on them.
Yo, look, we about to get blessed. You want to set the camera first, and then we got them?
No, we already got the camera set up.
Psh. Brother Adam?
So we're waiting on Adam. Yeah.
Hey, what's Gucci, Adam? Please make sure that you got that Wi-Fi on deck. Uh-oh. Hey, salam alaikum, my brother. I mean,
look, to celebrate episode 100, you know how we're celebrating, Adam?
Recording 101.
Exactly. I mean, typically after, if something really good happens, or like we get a deal, or something good happens with the pod, we typically we treat ourselves out to eat on the business. So we just don't pay. That's literally it.
We save some bread.
We save a little bread. My man, good job. And then it's just, all right, so what's the plan next? You know?
Hey man, if it wasn't for COVID, we would definitely probably took a trip out to like LA or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who said it's not happening?
Hey. We gonna hit you.
Who said that's still not happening? You feel me? But yeah, no, thank you, man. Great question. Appreciate you, bro.
You already know. Salute. All right, wassalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. All right, so let me finish that question in regards to what is the most physically painful thing you've ever experienced. I'm not gonna lie to you, a toothache, bro. What? What?
Oh, you never broken anything before?
Nah, I've never broken anything. I did twist my ankle, but other than that, like, alhamdulillah, like I've been alright. Bro, toothaches are no jokes, and I've gotten like root canals removed and everything, bruh. Cause the thing is that pain, like, not only from the mouth, then you get a major headache and you can't even sleep, bro. Bruh.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, that was some pain, bro. I was popping Vicodin like Future.
Popping Vicodin like their vitamins.
Popping them like House, bro. I love that show, by the way.
Fair Amo, not a question, but you guys are handsome men and are the definition of black excellence. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro. We
Shout
love
out,
it.
shout
Love
out,
it, Amo. I broke my ankle 6 months ago. Oh my God.
Praying for speedy recovery.
Yes, indeed. What else we got going, Mohammed?
Okay.
Another question.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to answer some of these tough ones. It says, well,
let's go back to the one that I asked, and I was just like, "Nah, we ain't answering that."
Okay, how to deal with doubts about faith? I've been struggling with faith a lot lately. Thank you, RC.Izza.
Thank you for your question. Listen, I think first and foremost, you have to just understand that faith is not a straight line, right? You know, the straight path is the point of using the terminology straight path is that it is a very straight up, like, it's very simple. We know it, but that doesn't mean there's not obstacles in it. Like, the way you navigate your faith is always going to be hard. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're at a high, other times you're at a low. And I think right now is a good reason that everybody is kind of on their struggle. You feel me? Like, it's COVID and you can't really move, you can't travel. So it's very difficult for a lot of people going on right now. My piece of advice is that you need to understand better your relationship with the law. So, and the only way you understand your relationship with Allah is by understanding who Allah is. And the only way you understand who Allah is, as he says in the Quran, get to know my creation, you get to know me. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And creation doesn't mean just the mountains and the trees, but get to understand other people. Get to understand yourself. You're part of Allah's creation. Understand the things that are good, innately good within you, and then try and see more of that within your life. That's how I have, when my faith is kind of rocky, I always say alhamdulillah for the good and the bad, because even when things are bad, there's always good in them. Always. Facts. So, yeah.
One thing that I struggle with when it comes to faith, especially when I was younger, is that when something bad would happen or something that I really did not like, sometimes I never left the religion. I'm not talking about leave the religion, but I would like leave Allah aside for a while. It might be like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, So it's like, damn, everything's going down the drain. Everything's going to shit. I already did something bad. Let me just continue down there. You feel me? And so I'm just like, then when I'm back, I'm like, cool, I'm back. And then it's like spurts of me being in and being out, like 1 foot in, but it's like, you can't do that. Have both feet in, and then whatever happens, obviously you can take your time, like you said, and get to know Allah, but you still gotta be there. All right. I think a lot of people, when something happens, like, yo, this is too hard, and just like, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that really did hurt me. But now I'm realized, like, yo, no matter what, I just gotta have both feet in, roll the punches. I know Allah gonna take care of me, and have faith, bro. I
also read the Quran, like really read it, and read it in spurts. Don't sit there and be like,
time with it.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people, and you don't have to read the Quran in Arabic. Let's just be honest.
The Quran was in your language.
You gotta remember that all of the stories in the Quran, aside from Prophet Muhammad, peace and praise be upon him, all the stories aside from Rasulullah, none of them spoke Arabic. None of them. Amharic, they spoke all these other ancient languages. None of them spoke Arabic. It was revealed in Arabic because, you guys are going to hear that in another episode. So we'll actually save that answer.
Yes.
Just remember to keep listening to the podcast because you're going to get the answer to why Arabic is the language and why it isn't as special as we try and make it out to be. Use the Quran as your guide. That's what it's meant for us. It's meant to be our guide.
Yep. Use
the Quran to understand how to navigate certain situations. Like Allah literally outlines everything. And I'm not just saying this because I'm like, I'm not this Quran thumper. I've been in the lowest of the low. I've been in the highest of the high. And the times where I was really high was when I was able to read the Quran and understand it contextually of how it mattered today. And I feel like a lot of us as young Muslims, we leave out the context of how Islam applies today, how the rulings of Islam apply today. I actually had a long conversation on my drive up here with my imam. This is somebody I confide in. Like he knows more about me than any other imam, right? And we were talking about something very specific, muta marriages, which a muta nikahs. If anybody knows what that is, it's basically like a temporary marriage that certain sects of Islam still practice. But as he explained to me, everything's contextual. Everything is contextual in our religion. And if you don't understand how things work in context, there's certain things that you would think are haram that aren't, and certain things you'll think are halal that aren't. So in order to navigate and understand this faith better, you really have to find a way to understand what you're reading and do a little bit of digging. Find someone that can help you. Find a guide. Those things are important. And until we humble ourselves and say, you know what, I'm going to do that work, it's going to be a struggle for us. Faith again is a bumpy road, but it's always easier when you have a GPS.
Right. Allah says, everybody knows, with difficulty surely comes ease. Says that twice, so that's how important it is. All right, bro, how do you overcome the fear of failing? Like, I know it's a part of life, but question mark.
Okay. Screw it, just do it. A book that I ordered a long time ago by Richard Branson, Virgin Mongol. His story was similar to like Forrest Gump. If you guys have seen Forrest Gump or any of those like epic adventure movies, they never say no to an opportunity. They always just say yes, and then it's kind of like a whatever happens is going to happen type of deal. And I think what stops us and what gives us our fear of failure is a lack of control. We feel as though if we can't control the outcome, then we shouldn't get into it because we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's the reason why a lot of us aren't married. I think that's the reason why a lot of us aren't as successful as we want to be. I think that's the reason why a lot of us dream about things and we never actually go towards those things. You feel me? So my advice is what I personally do. Before I engage with anything that might give me a little bit of anxiety or like, I'm like, I don't know, should I do this? Should I not do it? I literally in my head, I say, F it. What's the worst that can happen? F it. And just do it. I literally told myself that when I dove off of the high dive in Meads Pool in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, I was scared out of my mind. I was like 11, 12. And when you're 11 and 12, everything that's high is real high. It's real high. There's bumblebees and wasps. It was a country. It's out there in the boondocks. So screw it, just do it. And and the funny thing is when you do it, you realize it wasn't as bad as when you initially thought it was going to be. It's not as bad. Nothing is ever as bad as you fear. Your anxiety is keeping you from doing a lot of things. So if you literally tell yourself, screw this, let's just do it, it will take you a lot further.
I would definitely say I would agree with you, Jabril, and I would add 2 more points. One thing that I used to hurt me a lot was planning paralysis. I used to always plan out in my head. Like before I did something, I would try to plan it out from A to Z on how I'm gonna start, how it's gonna come out, how it's gonna look. But like, life never works like that. I'll give you an example. In high school, middle school, whatever, say you want to ask a girl to a dance or the prom.
Astaghfirullah.
You have to you have to ask her instead of saying, what if she says no? I'm sure she has 1,000 people asking her this, that, and the third. Even if we go, it's not gonna work. And then you literally don't ask her because you're so worried. And then you find out that she goes out with somebody else. And then when you get the chance, like, hey, you know, I wanted to ask you to prom, but I was worried you were gonna say no. She was like, why didn't you ask? I was just gonna say yes. So it's just
bro,
like,
and look, and then you're mad at you're kicking yourself because you didn't ask.
Exactly. So that's the first thing. Second thing I would say is, I think a lot of people are stubborn / have a lot of pride, right? I think a lot of people have a lot of pride. Like, well, if I do this and it doesn't go well, I'm known as somebody that always succeeds. People are going to see me as a failure. People are going to see me as trying something new and I'm not good at it. And when I like to start something, I like to finish it. I like to be on top of things. So I think pride does get in the way with a lot of people.
But let me ask this question to you then.
Yeah.
What happens when you fail? Like, so what's the worst is going to happen when you fail? What's the worst? Like, think about the worst thing that can happen when you fail, and I guarantee you that thing will be way more extravagant than what actually happens.
Because you might look bad, you might have low self-esteem, you might crash, you might.
Dang.
What?
Way to be positive.
Yeah,
at the
I'm
end
just
of all
saying,
this.
you just asked what's the worst. Like, what's the worst? I'm trying to tell you.
No, but like, all right. For example, let's say you see a girl and you want to ask her out. Well, the worst that can happen is she say, no, you're a freaking bum. I hate you. You're ugly as a mug. And guess what? I'm married.
Yo, that's,
right? That's the worst that can happen. But even still, you're like, okay, well, that's just you. I still got joints. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the meme my cousin sent me. Even when I take an L, I'm still there.
Yeah, I'm gonna lie to you. Bro, I need to put that on.
Bro, I tried to put that on my phone, bro. But iPhone's so daggone stupid.
But I think people are also worried about what other people think, especially when it comes to, I feel like, the older generation culture. They are so worried about people think. But remember that people really don't even care about you at the end of the day, and they ain't worried about you, bro. People ain't worried about you, man. They got their own stuff, man.
Not at all. So we just got a comment, and I really appreciate it. It said, I'm so glad I found you guys' podcast. It's so great to see an Islamic perspective on many contemporary issues. So refreshing and so needed. This is why we started the podcast, guys.
I love y'all.
That right there is why we started the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, there's another one. True, people are worried about what other people will think about them. Yeah, that will definitely stop you.
Right. Question from Brother Kader.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Let me ask a question.
Oh, yeah, good.
Let me ask a question.
Take forever. Go ahead.
Which influential person has transitioned? Oh, what influential person that has transitioned other than Prophet Muhammad, peace and praise be upon him, would you meet? Kobe Bryant. Happy birthday, Kobe Bryant. Today is Kobe Bryant's birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, bro.
Mamba.
I miss you. I miss you.
That I would like to meet?
Yeah. Someone that's died.
Oh, someone has passed away?
Well, you know, we'll up the ante on it. It can't be any like Islamic, like from the time of the Prophet person.
Yeah, no, you know, those are all
like,
great.
Those are like cheats.
Yeah, because those are all greats.
Like,
right.
look, grow up. When people, no. When people give those answers, I'm like, yo, grow. Like, ooh, you're special. Like, yo, grow up.
Thinking outside the box. Ain't
think outside the Islamic box.
All right, man. I would definitely like to meet up with this guy. Was crazy. I already know it was very crazy. Was Nikola Tesla.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I heard about his story a few days ago. Like, yo, this man was insane.
Bro, there's a book. There's a free book. I'll send it to you on Kindle about Nikola Tesla. Bro.
He said that he said everything he talked about was just monotone. He never got upset or anything. He was like, yo, find a way.
You know, he was killed by Edison and his army.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't claim it, but he was definitely killed.
He was the one that started everything. Yeah. Like, he was the one that started all electricity and currents come like all like
Mo. This man predicted Wi-Fi over 100 years ago.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, that's what Wi-Fi is. Wi-Fi is radio currencies and radio frequencies. This man predicted Wi-Fi.
That's that man.
Yeah, he's that dude. He's that guy.
He is that man.
Next question from Camp Khalil. Thank you again. What is on your bucket list? Let's just take like 3 things on our bucket list and then, share them.
All right. We both got the same one, but skydiving, I definitely got.
Yeah, I want to go skydiving on that. Even though my mama said don't do it. Hey, mom, guess what? This is my life. Lord knows.
Traveling the world.
That was a Kendrick Lamar quote.
Traveling the world. That's 2. You can drop two. I'm gonna think about that. My last one.
All right. So the first one is I want to take a solo road trip across the United States of America. I want to hit 35 countries by 35, and I want to skydiving. But you chose that for both of us, But another thing that is on my bucket list is I want to actually sit courtside at a basketball game.
Oh,
yeah, I want to sit courtside. I want to be on the TV. Was good out there, stunning. Rolly was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I want to be out there like that.
You said it earlier, but I definitely want to play just one chance, one game or 5-10 minutes on a professional team. You feel me?
But you already done that.
Yeah, I have.
Or it doesn't really count in your head.
No. I wanna like actually I got something where one thing on my bucket list is that I want to meet up with Mo Salah and Sadio Mane and do like a penalty kick shootout for like a fundraiser, and then they both shoot around, they playing, they see me do a dramatic save, like, oh yo bro, yo,
like, oh, look at the sign.
The side Klopp gonna be right there cheesing like, yeah, I like it. That's on my bucket list, and get them on the pod.
Very good. Nice. How do you overcome the fear? Oh, you read that one. Yeah. How do you deal with the fact that our faith fluctuates and we get these weird thoughts about religion? We kind of answered that one already, but just to expound on that one, the way that I deal with the aftermath of the fluctuations, not so much how to fix it, but when I get the thoughts, I'm like, oh man, like, I take solace in knowing that Allah is in control of your iman and your level, but never losing sight of the fact that Allah is always there, and that helps.
That's good.
Talk about the preparation for the first episode. How much did you improve? Since then? By our man Carter, my man, love you, bro.
Was there any preparation on the first episode?
Yeah, I think we had like kind of planned it out. We just kind of talked about what we were going to do the podcast on. I think months beforehand, we had a radio show before this and during all of 2018, and I told Mo, this is the first conversation that we had before we started the podcast. I said, listen, we're going to have to put everything on the line. We're going to have to put our reputations on the line. We're going to have to say some things that maybe our parents might hear that, maybe we might not want them to listen to. We're going to upset some people, and we haven't even started upsetting y'all yet. The topic's still going to be coming in. Y'all not ready yet. Y'all not ready. But we really had to humble ourselves and come to the realization that if we were going to do this, we were going to have to do it 100%.
Yep.
And that conversation I had with him was one of the biggest things one of the biggest things I'm glad we did was come into it with the expectation that we might put ourselves in a tight situation that a lot of Muslims might frown upon, but it's worth it because that means that the people that we can help will benefit and they'll understand why they shouldn't do what they're doing or what they should do to get out of situations. Because we've lived some crazy lives, bro. I will never forget. When dude came to the school. And we told him, we were, explaining like everything we had did there. And he was like, bro, like, y'all lived a movie. And I was like, no, the movies don't even compare to what we did in college. The movies, you think of the wildest, craziest college movie you can think of. And we did like times 4 or 5 of that.
American Pie?
Not American.
That movie's pretty bad.
And I mean, it's a good. I enjoy the movie. I just don't see that as being even close to comparing what we did.
Yeah, it was the white version. America's bean pie. That would have
America's bean pie. Ollie's bean pie. There we go.
What else we got in the docket?
So he asked the other part of the question, Carter's question, is how much did you improve since then? Tremendously. Like we got an intro. We didn't have an intro when we first started. Nope. We didn't have. There was none of that. There was no outro. We were just all right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
The equipment was different. Right, the quality and the sound.
Yeah, we didn't. Mo didn't really know how to edit yet. I had been doing YouTube, so I knew how to edit, but like we've gone through like a lot of ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff breaking, us fighting, traveling.
We also understand each other now. Like if Jabril says something, I can kind of wait, or if he gets stuck, I can fill in his point.
What do you feel like is the biggest thing that we improved on?
Oof. I would say the biggest thing that we improved on is definitely production, bro. Production and researching, right? The different topics that we're going to talk about, the type of guests that we get on board. Man, it's just, we improved on everything, bro. Yeah, to be honest with you, everything has improved. Nothing has stayed the same. Man, I would definitely say the whole just feng shui and production, how we roll and how we understand each other. So everything has improved, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Everything. I can't even. What do you think is something that we haven't improved on?
That we haven't? I think that we're in a phase right now where we're trying to improve our process with hiring on. Like we're looking to hire someone to help us with production. Hey, Salam Hodo, that's good. We're looking to expand our team. We're looking to build, and that's something that we've had a lot of ups or a lot more downs than ups. It's difficult. Like it's difficult to bring people onto something like this, especially when we're used to kind of just running off of ourselves. So that's been the more difficult part of the process, and then staying patient with a lot of things. But alhamdulillah, like a lot of stuff that we planned out. Hey, my good Othman, what's good, bro? A lot of things that we planned out, subhanAllah, like they've come true, whether it be guests, whether it be friends that we've made. It's a big deal. You feel me? Oh, I got to put it on the live.
Congrats on the growth. Alhamdulillah. You want to go ahead and pin that?
Yeah, I got you.
You can do it from that phone, can't you?
No, I can't do it from the phone.
Okay, cool. What's the next question?
I like this question. This is a good question.
Hit me.
This is from Asarak? Asarak 10? Nice name. When did something start out badly for you, but in the end, it was a blessing in disguise? Ooh, I got a story for you guys. Hold on.
Man.
Go ahead, Mo. What you got?
So, one thing that started off as a nightmare, but that came out to be a blessing in disguise, I would definitely say not making my college soccer team. That was like, trust me, I was heartbroken because I was like, man, I came to this school to play soccer, right? And these mofos cut me.
Do they know who they mess with?
They know who they mess with. I mean, I didn't get recruited. I tried to walk on, but they didn't know that my walk was on. You feel me? But because I literally was better than a lot of the people on the team. Definitely was one of the best, if not the best goalie out there. But they cut me because of my swag. I don't know why they cut me. You feel me? But it wasn't because of my talents. Yeah, that really did hurt me because
you were better than the dudes that they picked.
But not only that, what kind of sucks, and I feel like we do this to a lot of human beings. I put so much value in their hands. Like they determined my self-worth, because since I got cut there, I can be like, all right, cool. I could have tried out for another team. I could have played club somewhere else. But I was like, man, dang. I guess.
And then we got drawn into the college.
I was like,
because I got cut the same year. I got cut too.
I don't know if I I think I definitely hit a depression mode, because after I got cut, I didn't work out anymore. I didn't, for a little bit, I didn't even want to play soccer anymore. So I was like, let me just chill and party and drown this stuff out. You feel me?
And go to class. Yeah. Which you went to class, and alhamdulillah, you graduated early.
Our friendship almost broke up one time.
Oh, you talking about that one time? Nah, we ain't mentioning that one, bro. Tears were shed, bro. Tears were shed. That was dramatic.
You are no longer welcome, dear.
You are no longer welcome to my house.
Literally was driving off, had my hand on the window, and it was raining. I was like, oh no.
Well, you're dreaming with a broken heart. The toughest part, the waking up is the hardest part. Certain people are going to hear that and know exactly what we're talking about. Oh, man. Well, something hard that happened, something bad. This is very recent. So I thought that I broke my foot. I recently just got out of a boot, and I thought it was bad because I had just made a local pro team when I had moved back to my hometown. And I took that at first, like usually I'd be like really upset, really mad about it. But then I took it as, you know what, this is God's way of slowing me down. And what it slowed me down to was that there were certain T's I had to cross and I's I had to dot as far as like my work. And even though I couldn't work outright, it taught me a valuable business lesson. don't have all your eggs in one basket. And the basket that all my eggs were in was my physical ability to work, my physical ability to make money. And so it's forced me and put me in a position where now I don't have to be present somewhere in order to make money. I don't have to be in a brick and mortar to make money. I realized that with a coffee shop that I had. I used to have a coffee shop, by the way. That was breaking my foot. I just found out it's not broken. I just started wearing shoes. Alhamdulillah. I just started wearing shoes again for the first time in like a month and a half. So it's really weird. But yeah, anytime something bad happens, there's always a silver lining. And I never understood what a silver lining meant. A silver lining is like when the sun is behind a cloud, but you can see like the lining of the sun behind the cloud.
So you see the sun coming? Yeah.
So they say there's always behind every cloudy day, there's always a silver lining. Yeah. Or behind every storm, there's always a silver lining, something like that. But yeah, so it's like a bad situation always has a dash of salt.
But do you think everybody sees that still?
Well, I think it depends on do you have an abundance mindset or do you have a scarcity mindset? If you have an abundance mindset, you always think something good is going to come from any situation.
And you look for the good all the time. If you look for more opportunities, you'll find more opportunities. If you look for more reason to be sad, you're going to find that.
100%. 100%.
Next question, sir.
The next question is, it's got to do with Islamic banking. I'm not qualified for that. Are you qualified to answer that about Islamic banking?
Right now, I'm in the process of doing that. I actually went to an Islamic bank. Really, the biggest difference is that instead of interest, they call it profit.
Yeah,
right?
Bro.
It's so for example, here I'll break it down in the most simplest terms. If you buy a house for $300,000 and they put whatever X amount of percentage on it, so they call it profit, and they put that money on at one time. So say the house is $300,000 and the profit is $100,000, you have to pay $400,000 over the loan for 30 years. But that's it. The price stays the same. But for interest, that accrues, if it's 3 or 4%, that $100,000 that you had in regards to interest, that 100 can turn to 400 just because the interest accrues every single day.
And that makes sense, right? Like it's basically you're just.
They still got to make money though. Don't think like the bank is gonna still make their money.
I think a lot of Muslims get it twisted when it comes to what interest is. Taxes is a form of interest, right? Like in the Quran it says exuberant interest, meaning it can't be over the top because okay, cool, they're saying they make a profit, but if the profit that they're asking for is a crazy amount, that's still wrong. Even though it's not considered interest, it's still wrong fundamentally.
Like if you taxing somebody, like you raise the price on somebody.
But imagine. Yeah. What you just said, right? They charge you X amount. Let's say $4,000 extra on this amount that you borrow from the bank. If they were like, well, we're actually going to charge you 30% of what it is that you borrow. So if you borrow $1,000, you got to pay an extra $300 back on it, right? Or 40% on it. Like you're like, yo, that's crazy. Like, why would I like?
Why would I do that?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's exuberant, especially when you don't have any other option but that place. So they're taking advantage of the fact that they're the only one that's rolling a monopoly on you. Yep. And when it's just like it doesn't go along with the values of the people and the place of today. You know what I'm saying? So like, but if another bank, let's say the Christian bank up the street or the secular bank is charging interest, but it's cheaper than your profit, well, so are they haram and you're halal? Okay. You get what I'm saying? So we got to stop thinking everything is super black and white because you can do something and think that it is, halal and it's the right way to do it, but they can still be exuberant, can still be taken advantage of. And so I think a lot of times we have to look at it contextually and say, this is what exuberant means. This is what real, like when Allah mentions interest, this is what it is.
I like that example. That's almost like, say I buy a hat for like $10 and I charge somebody like $75 for it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's called smart business. That's called smart business, my friend.
Don't you think so? Okay, I know it's supply and demand. I know I'm maybe going on a tangent, but so remember when the masks came out and COVID really hit, people were just charging crazy amounts for like an $80 for like a pack of 10 masks. You know what I'm saying?
That was messed up. But guess what? A brother didn't leave the house.
But I still think even those lines, I think that's not like proper business.
No, it's morally wrong. It's morally wrong, right? But it's not haram. You know what I'm saying? That's not wrong. Like, bro, if somebody is going to buy something, everybody is out there to buy something. Like me and my dad were actually talking about this particular person.
But you couldn't do that back in the day when you was trading. Actually,
but you gotta remember. But remember this though. What is the likelihood that way back in the day that I would be the only person that has something, right? And I was just gonna charge a crazy amount.
Nah, everybody. There
Everybody.
was blacksmiths everywhere. There was bakers everywhere.
Exactly.
Good point.
But if I really did have something that was rare, then my price is justified. There's a reason why gold costs more than the little stones that are outside that they make the pavement with.
True.
Because one is in abundance and another is rare. So we have to, like, you got to just think through a lot of these things. Like, it's just common sense. You feel me? It's very much common sense.
What were you saying about you and your pops?
So we were talking about this particular business person that we know, and he was saying that what this guy was doing was wrong, right? He was basically lowballing people for the product because he's a middleman. So he buys it from,
manufacturer?
He buys it from guys that are selling to him. He takes it and he flips it and sells it to warehouses, like the pallet game, somebody in the pallet game, right? And so, like, my dad was explaining this. He was like, that's tyranny. But the whole time, I'm like, nah, like, that's business. Like, that's business. If you come to me and you're like, yo, like, I got this phone and I flip phones, but you need money, and you're like, bro, like, how much you buying? I was like, nah, I'll give you 200. You're like, 200? Come on, man. And I'm like, all right, I give you 200. But like, other people are giving people 300, but you still sell it for me for 200. I'm not in the wrong, right? I made more money. Why? Because I know that you have a need and I have a need and I still need to make money. I got people to pay. I have a growing business. I'm the biggest guy in town. So I still have to feed other people. I got to feed my family. I got to feed their families, so on and so forth, right? So recently my dad explained it, and I was like, Dad, but you got to understand, if these people are selling to this guy, he's not wrong. They're wrong for taking that small amount for their product.
Oh.
If someone is charging both of us for our phones, right? And they're like, yeah, we're going to give you 200. We're both like, no, and we're the only people with phones. Well, guess what? They're going to meet what we need. So it isn't, you got to remember, the customer is always right. Doesn't just refer to people saying you got my order wrong. The customer is always right. The masses win when they unite together. So if more customers come and say, yo, we're not buying this because it's crappy, the restaurant's not going to bring that thing on the menu back. If people unionize, this is why they unionize, to say this is wrong, we need this, other, like the businesses, whatever it is, they're going to accommodate the masses because they know that they need them.
But what about morally? Like, you know that you're only player in town. Are you just going to go ham on everybody and just be like...
But you can't throw morals on everything, because it's just like you can't throw friendship at every business deal. No, damn, we homies, bro. How you going to do me like that? That's morally not right. Man, what? Listen, business is business. If you come to me and I give you a price point and you don't like it, go elsewhere. Find somewhere else to sell your product. Go somewhere else to, like, you don't like what I provide, then how about you go get yourself vendors and you go sell to people and you charge what you want to charge them. So instead of getting $3-4 for your product, now you're able to get $7 for your product. That's a choice. They make choices, and that's why I was talking about that. These guys all made choices to sell their stuff cheap. And you can't be mad at me if I say, well,
I'm not.
Yeah. Can't be mad at it. That's my mom. Yeah, thank you everybody for the congratulations on episode 100. Again, if you're just tuning in, we are going live for our 100th episode. We're answering questions. So if you have any questions for us, about the podcast, make sure you ask them now, because guys,
keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Right. We're hype right now.
Hype up. What's the next question, bro?
Let me check. I gotta
take your time.
Someone said, "Love y'all."
Shout out to the Rogue. Love you too. Rogue. What up, Samaya?
What has been one of the most difficult parts of doing the podcast?
Oh my God, time.
Explain that, bro. Explain that.
This right here takes time. This thing right here takes time. What I mean by that is that right now, what you guys just saw and everything, we literally had plans to meet up with friends right now, right? We literally had plans. We planned this out. We actually been trying to meet up with our friends for almost 3 weeks now. We were trying to do this thing.
I haven't seen these dudes in forever.
And then they're like, cool, we meet up at 6. We're like, cool, we meet up next thing. We're like, oh, we had to cook, we had to eat, we had to set up production. They were like, I'm sorry, guys, we can't come. Like, yo, but we planned this so long ago. I'm like, yo,
They planned this like 2 days ago. Like, these guys.
But it just shows that when it comes to things like this, there is no punching in or punching out. You don't know how long it takes, and you literally have to stay at it until the job is done. There is no like, well, it's 5 o'clock, Jabril. We'll finish this in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like that.
Yeah, I think the most difficult part is that, and I think you're going into like consistency. Yeah. How difficult it is to be consistent, and keep the same energy throughout. But I think also, will we get a question?
Great question from Samaya.
Okay. Thanks, Samaya. Hey, shout out to Rogue Muslim. There's also been somebody who, from day one, along with Noor from This Muslim Girl podcast, they have been holding us down, supporting us, helping us out, and navigating this podcast space. So thank you. Big thank you to those 2 podcasts specifically. Because when we first started, they were the first 2 podcasts that we linked with, Muslim podcasts. And to be honest, there's not many male podcasters, male Muslim podcasters. So, you know, for these sisters to really show up for us and to give us love like they have been doing for the last 2 years, salute.
Right.
Salute.
Big halal stepping.
What was I saying though? You said time. The other T word that has been very, very difficult for this podcast has been travel.
Oh, yes.
So just in context, I drove 4 hours to get up here to Mo because I moved. I don't live near him anymore. And so I had to drive 4 hours to get up here to record this. I had work. I had money that I had to go get. Yep. I had to leave that behind. I've skipped birthdays. I've missed birthdays. I've skipped family functions. I've done a lot of sacrificing. A lot of money coming out of the pockets, you know what I'm saying? And on both ends, like we've sacrificed a lot of things in order to make this work. And it's not to say, oh, like we're, you know, look at us. But it's like, you don't understand that until you're going through it. And if your commitment to it isn't really strong, you'll just say, it is what it is. I don't want to do it. Someone said, why don't you guys Zoom the pod or meet in the middle? So
great question.
Great question. I answered the latter, right? Why don't we meet in the middle? Now, if you guys have been long-term listeners and viewers of the podcast, you guys know we have recorded everywhere from hotels and got kicked out of hotels. We've recorded in cars multiple times. We recorded outside before. We've met in the middle of our state and it's worked. But with Corona, it's been very difficult. Now, the first question, why don't we do Zoom? Now, this is something that I was getting berated with before I left. Why don't we use Zoom? Well, the quality, first and foremost. It's very difficult to get the same quality, and we made a commitment when we started this that was certain things we wouldn't compromise on, and the quality was first and foremost. Yep. There's a reason why we sound the way we do on these mics. There's a reason why you guys can watch this on YouTube and it looks great, is because we made commitments in the very beginning. And this goes back to Carter's question, was like, how did you kind of like get the first episode started? In addition to that conversation that we had about what we were really going to have to put on the line with the topics that we were going to talk about, we also knew that there was non-negotiables in how we were going to go about this podcast. Non-negotiables. We said we were not going to do call-in guests. All of our guests had to be visible. We weren't going to do Zoom guests. Like we really weren't going to do that. But we found a way to make it work that it looks pretty good and the quality's still there. We made firm decisions on things that we weren't going to do, and doing a podcast over Zoom is something that we just didn't want to sacrifice for the quality. And I sincerely believe our audience is all the better off for that.
Yeah, so are we.
I think somebody said your dedication has been unreal right from the beginning. Honestly, may Allah bless your efforts. Thank you.
She also had another question, Jabril. I don't know if you can pull it up on your phone. It was a great question. I think she was talking about along the lines that
I can't. It's not going to show up because you get on the live.
Okay.
We just swipe that.
Yeah, swipe down.
I'll read it out.
Swipe up, swipe down, but don't swipe left. All right.
Thank you for the kind words. We got to sit together.
Right there.
What's something you've learned about yourselves and the Ummah from doing the podcast and hosting this amazing platform?
Yes. One thing that I learned. What?
So the question is from the Rogue Muslim. She asked, what is one thing that you've learned about yourselves and the Ummah from utilizing this amazing platform?
One thing that I learned about myself while using this, doing this podcast is that my voice is being heard. Not only that, is that I'm actually good at this. I actually found like
that's a weird flex, but okay.
I know I've actually found my calling. I'm actually comfortable, talking on the mic and explaining different things and speaking with different individuals. So I've learned it's brought the best out of me, and it's helped me become less shy and helped me break out of my shell. So that's one thing I learned about myself. One thing that I learned about the Ummah is that we're a lot more similar than we think. Right, we're a lot more similar. I thought that I was the only person that felt this way. I was the only person that practiced this way or kind of went through these trials. But I forget that there are over 7 billion people on this planet, almost 3 billion Muslims. So yeah, I can't be the only one.
Yeah, that's great. I realized that I got the juice. I got the juice like that. No, but seriously, since we started this podcast, I think one of the biggest realizations has been that if you set a vision for it and you work towards it, you can make it happen. Like 100%. There's things that we talked about, and you can ask Mo. Like Mo knows. I said some things early on before we started. I was like, yo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we had no clue. Now I'm good. We had no clue how we were going to make that happen. Like zero clue, and it's happened. And that's just testament that Allah will make things happen. Don't minimize Allah with your insecurities. Allah will make it happen if you sincerely ask for it, and if your intentions are good, right? That's one thing I've learned about myself, that I have the ability to speak certain things into existence, right? The thing that I learned about the Ummah is that we just my mom just looking at the text. The thing I learned about the Ummah, that's a great question. I think that we're seeing just how willing we are and open we are to trying to navigate our own culture as a younger Muslim culture, how much we actually need one another and navigating this together. We're one. Allah says we all come from one soul, and really we're all really, especially the young Muslims, we're really trying to navigate all this together. And I feel as though for what we're trying to create here, like you guys see a podcast, but we see something way bigger. We see something way more. And you guys, inshallah, over time will see what it is that we're building. We see a culture that is crying out for more help, more steady help. We're seeing a culture that's crying out for leaders to step up that aren't self-serving, people that are willing to put themselves on the line and give of their resources, and I think that we're those guys to do it, and you guys are the perfect people to come along on this journey, because you guys have been nothing but excellent. And so if there's anything I had to learn about the Ummah, is that we all are trying to move together. This young Muslim culture is going to move forward, and I guarantee you it's going to be so beautiful. Man, it's going to be beautiful when we all get there. I promise you. Let me get these questions. Don't have to people asking these questions.
We going, hey, yo, look, we literally have the best fam. The younger Muslim fam is the best fam, hands down. Even Beyonce's bees ain't got nothing on us, for real. They're called bees, right? The beehive.
You can answer this one. Is it cheaper that buying a house in America is much cheaper than Canada?
Is it true? I have no clue.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how much they cost in Canada.
Buying a house here in America depends where you are. You can get a nice place down. Texas has some very cheap homes. Like you can go in the country and get a nice little home that has everything you need for like $100K. So.
We already did this question, but advice on overcoming fear,
failure,
self-doubt, and procrastination. Well, not self-doubt. We haven't.
I like self-doubt.
I like that.
How about
that's a good question.
And procrastination. I think we should go into both.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that. That's a great question. Thank you for asking your question. Finding Noor.
Yes. So for self-doubt, one thing that is, you can say it's in your control, is out of your control, is you got to have the right people around you. There's so many times where you try to do something and someone's like, yo, like that's dumb. Like, why would you do that? Or like, yo, bro, I'm not going to lie. You're not going to be good at that just because they're not good at it. So a lot of people throw their insecurities on you. So make sure you have the good people around you. Another thing is that spend time with yourself and see what you're good at and what you're not good at. I just met up with a high school friend not too long ago. He's like, yo, Like, he's like, yo, I still keep in touch with so many different people, this, that, and the third. What about you? And I looked at him, I was like, yo, bro. I was like, bro, I have no friends. He's like, how? Like, you were so popular in high school, everybody loved you. I said, bro, just because I've been grinding. You know what I mean? Like, I've been working. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, bro. He's like, yo, I've seen you change a lot. I was like, bro, I put in the time.
Yeah.
I put in the time. So self-doubt is not going to go away unless you spend more time with yourself and you're able to overcome those things that you're not good at, or excel at those things that you're great at. I mean, there's things that Jabril has told me about myself that I never knew, which has helped me, and vice versa. So those are the 2 tidbits of advice that I would give. So in regards to procrastination, and Jabril, I want you to answer both things too. Procrastination is just start. Just one thing I learned is that tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I think it's deeper
comes.
than that, though. I think procrastination is a lot deeper than just start. Yeah, and I've really become more empathetic to procrastination because I've been experiencing procrastination. Right, I've been experiencing this a lot more. But to answer the first question, self-doubt.
How do you get that confidence, cuz?
Man, I think I like to do this thing called retrospective thinking, right? Where you literally look back in your life and say, what have I gone through? What have I accomplished? What obstacles have I overcome that at the time I was doubting myself, but I made it through. I had that juice, like hey, like I'm that guy, I'm that girl. Like, I did this, I did that. You know what you can do, right? When you're lifting weights, when you're in the gym, when you're running, right? That first mile always seems intimidating. You always doubt yourself with that first mile when you're running. But then after a few months, like 1 mile, you're like, oh, that's slight work, right? Same thing with soccer. Like, I used to be very insecure about soccer because I wasn't that good. But I got better through repetition. I got better by playing with better people.
So much better.
Yeah, bro. Mo knows. Mo saw me when I was like the worst, and he sees me now, and it's like, your boy, he was making protein.
He was an infant. Masha Allah.
Yeah, I was baby Brill. Now I'm big Brill. You feel me? You feel me? But you get over the self-doubt by looking at where you started, and then look at where you're at. And it might only be a few steps, but guess what? Even if you fall flat on your face, you're still moving forward.
Facts.
And if you understand that and you give yourself less of a hard time, it will be so much easier for you to progress. So my
like
advice to anybody that's doubting themselves in the situation is, listen, sometimes the people around you, as Mo said, don't need to be around you. You need to leave the people that are around you. They aren't aiding to let you know that, you are the she's, knees, bees. Don't get it twisted any other way. You're that person. Like, you are the best version of who you can be at this very moment. Don't get that twisted. You are good right now. So act like it. If you woke up this morning, we always say this, if you woke up morning, you winning, right? You winning. But understand what we're saying when we say you're winning. When we say, if you woke up right now, you're winning, that means that Allah chose you to be here right now. Like how much more of a lottery ticket is that? You know how many people had plans for today but didn't wake up?
Bro.
Especially now with COVID. You know how many people had plans for this year? I'm going to Jamaica. I'm going to the Bahamas. I'm going to Ireland. And they didn't wake up today, but you woke up and you're doubting? Like, bro, if God believes in you, bro, you definitely God believe in you.
What?
Right?
Waking up and looking what you got instead of what you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my answer for self-doubt. I know it's a little bit long-winded. Where's that?
Cheese knees bees.
Cheese knees bees. You already feel me, baby? As far as procrastination, I think it's deeper than just saying, just do it. I think you really need to understand why you don't have the energy to do what you're doing. Maybe you're going through something and it's very difficult. Like, you're going through a breakup, or you're going through just like family issues. Yeah, you're getting fired. Like, when I got fired, I didn't feel like doing the podcast, but I committed to it. And me personally, when I commit to something, it's like, let's do this, let's get it done. But I think the most important thing when you find yourself in the loop of procrastination, why do I not want to do this? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like editing.
That's a good question to ask.
I don't like editing. And this is recent. This is kind of behind the scenes podcast. So I don't like to edit. I don't like to sit at my computer for hours at a time and edit something that I just listened to us record. I got to sit down and record almost 2 hours of us talking on camera and on live. I love you guys, but this is like, I got to do this work afterwards, right? I don't enjoy it. And so I procrastinate at it, right? I procrastinate at it because it's not easy. It's time consuming, but the reward of it is so great that it's like, bro, get it done, do it. So I think a lot of times we have to stop looking at how hard something is and start looking at what the outcome is. And if we don't really look at what we want to get out of it or what we can potentially get out of it, that procrastination just sets in, because then you're like, well, it might not even be worth doing it.
Bro, I love that. Just to kind of finish that point from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for those that have read the book, if you haven't, I recommend getting it. He said, the rich man mindset, the poor man mindset is, oh man, that's too expensive. The rich man mindset is, how can I afford that? And what that means, to your bro point, is that rich people that have that abundance mindset, they don't look at the price in regards to how hard it's going to be, how much work is going to go into. They're like, what can I get out of this? What is the reward? If the reward is high enough, the price doesn't even matter at that point. You feel me? So I like that.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah. Great example. Got more questions.
Oh, are we just straight just doing from here now?
Yeah, we're just going to do it straight from there.
Okay, man.
Because they're coming in. Guys, make sure you ask your questions.
Yes.
Keep them coming in. You guys are crushing right
Send them in the box. Drop in the box so we can go ahead.
Yeah, make sure you guys put them in that little question box thingy right there.
Yeah. The box, and we ain't talking Roddy Rich. Oh, damn. Chill, Mo.
I like this one.
What is it?
K-Nina. So the question is, how do you handle having experienced independence for 2+ years, but now your family is moving back? Oh, I can answer this one.
Wait, like her family's moving back to the country, or she?
So her question is, how can you deal with your family? I'm assuming her family left. She's been here, or she's lived on her own for 2 years.
Family's coming back.
And her family's finally coming back. Like, I hope you cleaned up after that wild house party you've been throwing for the last 2 years. Just saying, make sure you clean up. And don't forget that cup that's behind the couch. Don't forget that one. So I recently had to move back home with COVID coming in play. I was living on my own. I was pretty isolated. And so I was like, you know what? I'd rather just come back home. I can stay up here, but I'd rather not. And it's a tough transition. Like, it's very tough to go from having your own schedule, living on your own, to I live back with mom and dad now. I think the most important thing you have to do is make your parents understand that you are no longer a child. You are an adult. Well, I don't know how you're old, but I'm assuming you're an adult. You have boundaries. There's certain things that you will and will not tolerate. And certain people say, oh, that's disrespectful. But understand, you wouldn't let anybody disrespect you. And I think the same thing goes for parents. I think parents, children have rights over their parents. And one of the things is that you shouldn't disrespect your children, just like your children shouldn't disrespect you. And so I think when your family comes back, you need to say, listen, like, I'm glad to see you guys. I'm glad you're back. But I do have my own way of living now. I've been by myself for longer than 2 years. There's certain things that I don't do anymore that you guys do. And I don't want that to be back in my life. That can take time, and it takes very open communication. So I think the best thing you can do is have that dialogue with your fam and move forward with it. You can't change the fact that, you know, you're having to be back with your fam. Thank Allah for that, because at first I was pretty blown about it, but there's a lot of good things that have come from it, and my relationship with my fam has got even closer now that I took time away and then I've come back. So don't sleep on your fam. All right.
Hey, good point, bro. I would say as soon as they come back,
you just moved out.
that's why I'm not hitting too hard. As soon as they come, I would leave.
But what about like when you left college? And I was going to change the question, but
when I came back home from college?
Yeah, so like, because think about it. You had lived at home, and then you were basically living on campus for
4 years.
For 4 years, and then you go back home, and it wasn't just mom and dad. You got mom, dad, and sibling.
That journey was the hardest time of my life, because now I got to get used to a new routine. So instead of waking up, hitting the gym, running, you know, reading my book, going on my walk, now it's like, all right, as soon as I wake up, change a diaper, you know what I mean? Like, do this, go to the store. So it threw my whole thing out of whack. And honestly, in the beginning, we were butting heads. It was way too much. I'm like, yo, you guys need to give me my space. You guys need to give me my freedom. And one thing that I realized is that you have to ease into certain things. I got to remember that at the end of the day, that's not my house. That's my parents' house. And I didn't have a curfew when I was at college. And now when I come home, they're like, hey, where you at? Call me all the time. So it was definitely hard.
Yo, I was scared. I was like, no.
I know better.
Oh, bro, I was shook for a split second. I was shook. I was like,
they still haven't gotten the reference. But yeah, there's a lot of things I have to adjust to. But then my parents started to understand, like, hey, he's becoming grown now. And guys, look, I came back home from college, and then I just moved out not too long ago. I'm 28 years old, and I just moved out. So a lot of things that I'm learning. But like Jabril said, create those boundaries and say in a very respectful manner, but be very stern, be confident in your decisions, and keep moving forward. You move and have them adjust to you. They'll meet you.
But understand this. Don't talk all that smack if you ain't about it.
Yo,
don't talk all that smack if you ain't about that life.
I saw a post on a story not too long. I told my little brother, I said, look, if you want to live this life and talk about you're independent and you want to move this way, just know a lot going to come with it. Yeah, and let's see if you're really about it, bro. About it.
Okay, we got more questions in. Thank you guys. Thank you. How did you get a halal mortgage?
Google. Someone Google that joint.
How did you get halal mortgage? Google that.
Yeah, you just go on Google and then just put in halal.
Alright. Sorry, I just popped up twice.
That's it.
I like this. Great question. And I like how Instagram is actually putting the whole question out.
Oh wow, finally, dude.
Is that how is your planning for each episode changed from episode 1, which I would assume was probably more scripted than episode 80 and over?
Nice.
Actually, the opposite.
Right.
So, episode 1 was not scripted at all. We set up the mics and we just started talking. And that's really what we did. Like we didn't really put too much planning in the beginning, because if we were planning, we would have actually recorded probably like 20 episodes in bulk.
Yeah, and then put it out.
You know what I'm saying? My philosophy with anything is let's just hop into it and see what happens. And then if it fails, cool. If it doesn't, then we just like you kind of had to catch up with the speed of you doing the thing. So that's how we started the podcast, and that's how we got to it.
Somebody said, can the shaitan become Muslim? Really weird question. You gotta remember, shaitan was praying, all right, in the beginning of times and everything, was obeying Allah and everything. So he did submit fully, he had no problems because he was along the angels. He was an angel. Don't forget that, until Adam came along, and that's when he
became the first racist.
Became the first racist, and he kind of snapped out. So he's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I keep just getting up.
Yeah. I'm so. I can start getting up. I'm sorry, guys. Bro, this.
How about this?
What? Okay. But can
they see both of us?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. They can see how my face
looks. Just back it up.
All right.
Just putting that's perfect, bro. That's perfect. That's,
all right. That's a lot.
But we just can't look at that the whole time we're answering.
All right. Gotta look. All right.
You know what? Nah. I mean, I think. Hold on. How about this? Hand me that.
Hand you what?
Hand me that.
That's right.
Just pick it up.
Okay.
All right. We'll just put it right here. And then I can get it from this side.
From the angle. All right. Cool.
So next question. I like this question. What big plans do you guys have planned for the next Islamic year?
Oh, for this one right now, because it just
started. Travel, lots of travel. I plan on traveling.
Yep.
Even with COVID, I'm going to be traveling. Inshallah, Hajj.
Yeah. Yes.
See
you there.
That's about it.
Stack this bread.
Yeah, stack this money.
Stack this bread.
We got some business moves in play. I think the podcast and Young and Muslim as a brand, we got some big things going on.
Trying to go full time with the podcast.
Yeah, full time.
We're kind of full time now. We're kind of full time now, right?
Ooh, I like this. I like this surah. I like this question. What is your favorite surah? Do you have a favorite surah?
He said, Rona ain't stopping your travel plans, eh?
No, sir. We keep it moving, keep it pushing.
My favorite surah is not even a full surah. I would definitely have to say, has to be Surah Al-Baqarah is Ayatul Kursi. You know what I'm talking about? Just Ayatul Kursi. I just like that one because it just shows how strong Allah is and shows how we're all under His throne. And that's such a beautiful surah because they say, you read that anytime you're feeling like in distress. It relieves anything.
Did you get it off of the Camp Khalil joint?
No, I actually got that Camp Khalil thing over there. It's actually over there.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah, so I like that surah because it's recited just so many different times and it helps with so many different things.
My favorite surah is Al-Tur. That's surah 52.
Nice.
That's definitely my favorite. I've been listening to it nonstop. I've been reading it nonstop.
Right.
It's really, really good. And the sound of it, the guy that recites, Masha Allah, I think these guys, like, imagine how many blessings you would get if you're just like recorded reciting Quran for people. Oh, bro. And that's what you do, bro. These guys, I mean, I would assume the amount of blessings they're getting for reading Quran for all of us every Ramadan is on another level. Right.
YouTube views ain't got none on them.
Right.
They're stacking that paper. Yes, Brother Hanif.
So I'm new to Islam. How do you date halal in these modern times? My God, what a question.
You need to call Muzmatch.
Don't call them. Don't call them because I've heard some things.
Ghostbusters.
Don't call the apps. Don't call the apps. You were in the right place, my friend, because you were talking to Muslim Hitch, halal poppy.
Yes. So I would say one thing I would say, because you're new to Islam, definitely be careful, because I know there are individuals that prey on new reverts or converts, whatever, and try to mold them into something that they're not. I would definitely say take your time, learn yourself, learn the religion, know what you want, and don't play no games, right? Yeah. If they're on the app and they moving different and they ain't trying to do it, then swipe them. Swipe
Muslim Hitch. You already go. I'm Muslim Hitch, and that's halal poppy. Halal poppy.
I like that.
So my advice is going to be, like, a lot of you guys are going to disagree with this, but I'm going to roll with this. I think that you date similar to how you, well, I don't know you personally, but I would say similar to what you were doing before, but with a halal intent and in a halal way. Meaning, it's okay for you to say, hey, like, do you want to go out to eat? Right? Like, you meet somebody, maybe you met them out in public, or maybe you got shot with a DM, and they're like, hey, like, okay, let's meet, let's go out to get something to eat. There's nothing haram about that, right? People say, oh, you need a wali. That's true, but at the same time, the point of the wali is to make sure you don't do anything like wild, like haram, right? If you're out in public, you're in a public place, you're doing it right, then cool, you're in the clear. But it gets iffy when you start having more of those intimate conversations. I think, as time goes on, you'll learn to have more self-restraint, and you should set boundaries while you're in this process of getting to know somebody. Muslims don't like the term dating. Let's just be real with it. Muslims don't like the term because they don't understand that courting is the same thing as dating. You have to court somebody, you have to date somebody before you actually say, yo, I like you, I want to marry you, right? Otherwise, we're just working off of pure attraction. And I mean, that lasts for a little bit, right? But yeah, so my advice is, as far as dating in these modern times, it's tricky when it comes to DMs. It's tricky when it comes to meeting up with somebody that you never met before in person. But you have to navigate the best way possible by understanding the guidelines of what marriage is and the guidelines of what is halal. Like, don't just go out there and start wilding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't have to wild, but like Mo said, don't let these Muslim guys or even sisters take advantage of you and think, oh, well, I can't date you unless you wear a jalabiyah. I can't date you unless you do this. I can't, like, just because you converted, you don't have to change who you are as a person.
Be you. I was just about to say that.
Be you. Your character doesn't have to change. Your character should change for the better, but you shouldn't. If they're like, oh, like, well, you can't talk to your Christian family or your Jewish family, nah. Don't let others, especially someone that is saying they're interested in you, start treating you as though your life beforehand is invalid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody trying to hop in right now to tell you there's no dating in Islam.
So just to go off of that point, what's the difference between dating and courting?
They don't know what courting is. You have to explain.
No?
No.
So do you go live on it?
Yeah. Let's see what they got to say. Because definitely want to hear their point.
Right.
So he's talking about just seeing him for the first time and going straight ham with it. All right, brother, we're going to bring you on. We want to hear your point. Make it interesting. Make it compelling. Make it clear. Let's get to it. Bring him on in, Muhammad Bahlawa. Right?
I believe so.
Bahlawa.
Cool.
All right. Let's see, brother.
Let's see if he comes in.
He said in modern time right now. There is dating a lot in Islam.
Yeah, like how else do you get to know somebody? The times of hey, your
it's
dad
like
come talk to my
engaged.
dad.
When you get engaged to somebody and you're not married, that's what dating is. Like you're not married, you haven't had the nikah yet, but you're engaged, right? You got those parameters. You are dating. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly, you can date within parameters. That's the point.
He's not getting on.
Yeah, he's not going to get on. That's cool. So that's the. Hey, can you like stop the camera? So that's the point of dating. The point of dating is to get to a place where you can get married, not just press the button. See, it ain't so easy getting up all the time, is it? But yeah, so like that's our advice. If you have like more specific questions, just DM us.
Yeah. You can have dates during Ramadan. You can have dates anytime. We got a wise one, huh?
Oh, this is a great question. How do I get over my dislike of my own voice and appearance on camera? How do I get
Hoya, mom.
To not view my YouTube channel?
Okay.
For your second questions,
yes.
That's impossible. Your mom is always going to find your work.
It's public.
It's going to be public.
You just gotta get over it.
Yeah, you really just got it. The thing is, it's like I said before, it's a screw it, just do it mentality. You literally just have to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. Like if you're going to be on a podcast or if you just want to do YouTube videos, you really just have to do it and then put up with the editing process. The hardest part is editing, and then. Excuse me, and then watching and listening to yourself the whole time, right? But if you just do it, like when you're recording it, like don't think about that. Don't think about how do I sound? Like you need to just do it, and then you worry about that stuff in post, and then just make sure you put it out. Because remember, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for other people. Exactly. What you post isn't for you. Once you put it out there, you didn't put it up there for yourself. If you're putting up content with the idea that you want to get gratification out of likes, you want to get people's validation, then you're already going in it with the wrong intent. So, you know what's crazy? People will tell you that they like the sound of your voice. They're going to tell you they like the sound of your voice.
Right. And once you help somebody, you're going to even forget that you're on camera or do like, yo, like once you start seeing those comments, like, yo, I really helped this person, you can get back into it. When it comes to creating content, you are here to serve others. Obviously, you can reap the benefits and feel good, but you are doing this for other people. And when you come off with the right intention, people can feel that. People are like, yo, this person is genuine. Yeah, he may not have gotten a shape up in a brick. Hey, make sure you also look nice. Like, take care of yourself.
I got you.
Like, make sure you dress fresh. Like, take care of yourself. Right? You want to look good on camera and be presentable. But don't forget, when you're helping people, you're not even going to be worried about it.
Exactly. So make sure, look, if you want even more detail on that question, just shoot us a DM. Yeah. We'll answer the question. We'll give you extensive advice. And that's the best thing about this, because this is a family, like family help each other out. So you're not in competition with us, because you don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. Come on, just playing. Boom. I just stepped on the headphone line.
Oh my God. All right. Y'all got brother here. Wow. Man, y'all going hard in the paint, Walker.
When did you realize your mindset changed, and what did that look like for you? Habits.
Oh my God.
I think it's an ever-going process.
Yeah.
I think you're always trying to expel bad habits and bring on new ones, bring on good ones. Specifically for me, there's been 2 times. I'll say very recently, I came to a conclusion that was certain things I was doing that were inhibiting me from being the best version of myself. And so I cut them off cold turkey, and alhamdulillah, I'm happy for it. And eventually, we'll talk more about like what the pre Brill was into, you know what I'm saying? But like in 2015, I was not in that great of a place, right? Like I was kind of just all over the place, and not bad, like I was like, like a crackhead or something. But like I was in a good place because I was just doing so many different things. I was like not really focused, and I joined this online course. I bought this course that I saw through an ad on YouTube. And it was the best thing that I ever did in my life. It was the single biggest thing to help change my mindset. I changed my mindset because I started having an abundance mindset, an investor's mindset, rather than just a consumer mindset. And when you have a consumer mindset, you leave out a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And you flock to a lot of things. You feel me? I would say definitely similar for me. Going into college, that really did change my mindset because I was finally around people that weren't where I'm from, weren't from the same country, and weren't brought up the same way. So it was nice to get perspectives from all different places. So that really did help. Another thing that I would say is that when I started doing 2 things that really changed my mindset is when I started reading a lot more and when I started writing. Like reading takes a lot, but writing's a whole different beast. Like putting stuff on paper, your thoughts, how it made you feel. Like that's when everything really changed for me.
Yeah, journaling that's a great point. I journal every day, and I take my journal with me everywhere. I have it with me here. Whenever I travel, I'll take it with me because there's something, as you said, about putting it on paper that is different, right? We're going to talk about journaling a little bit. We're going to talk about that as we answer some of these questions.
See, so sister, you said you've been stuck in self-sabotage. Like why? Like why have you been doing that? Like hopefully this doesn't come off the wrong way. Like, don't you care about yourself and your health? Like, don't you want to be great? I think a lot of people go into self-sabotage. To be honest, I want to win. All right, I want to see my people win around me. But first and foremost, I gotta look out for numero uno, and that's me. Trust me. You can ask Jabro. When I was younger, I used to help everybody. I didn't care if I was in the dumps. I'm like, yo, as long as everybody else around me is good. That's why I even wanted to be a doctor. I didn't know anything about the anatomy, but I just wanted to help people. You feel me? And that's all I cared about. But then I thought about it. I was like, yo, every time I help everybody, why am I always in last place? Like, why am I always like losing? Like, why? It's not supposed to be like that. And then I kind of went to the whole opposite polar end. I was like, I'm not helping anybody. Forget all y'all. So it's a balance, but I was like, I have to help myself first. You can't pour out of an empty cup. So I fear change and uncertainty. You change every single day for the good or the bad.
Yeah. 100%.
Every single day you change.
This is a good question. Are there any rulings on having friends of the opposite gender after marriage? I'll just say this. The Prophet, peace and praise be upon him, had female friends.
Yes. He had the...
Yeah.
And I'm working it. Yeah, see, that's... I mean, you got to also with your...
You answer the question, you
No, I'm just going back to right there. Yeah. I mean, I would also create those boundaries too. You feel me? Like, if you have a male friend, a female friend, after you get married, make sure to have those boundaries and understand. But at the same time, if they've been your friends since you was in pre-K and elementary school, just cut them off because you got married. That ain't right. And that's not the Muslim way either. You don't cut off kin. You feel me? You don't cut off family, dog.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think you
can keep at a distance.
No, well, that's what I was gonna say. I think we overuse the term cutting off people. I think that we have to start when there are people who are toxic or people, and we overuse that word toxic. People who are not beneficial to our lives. When there are people who are in our lives who aren't beneficial and they suck us of our energy, I think it's important for us to set boundaries. It's important for us to set parameters for what a relationship with me is going to look like. If you're going to be my friend, this is what a friend of mine does. This is what a friend of mine doesn't do. Mm-hmm. And if you cross those lines, then you aren't a friend. Mm-hmm. You're a foe. So you set those parameters very, very clear so people know what's what.
Somebody said, can you elaborate on uncertainty?
What do you mean?
That's what I said right there. You might be talking about yourself. It's uncertainty. That's a big one. How can you Well, the thing about uncertainty is that you don't know what's gonna happen, right? Yes, you don't know what's gonna happen. But one thing that Jabril is, you have to know yourself. One thing that Jabril is very good at doing, he's a visionary. He sees things play out, and he can literally look at a situation come from a few miles away. For me, I've been working on that, but what I can do is that I can grind. Like, I just put my feet on the ground and just keep going. Yeah, that is really good because I'm the engine. I keep things going, but it's always good to keep your head up and be like, where am I going? You don't want to keep grinding. Next to you, look like, oh, snap, I went 40 miles the wrong way. You feel me?
You don't look. The comparison I'm about to use might seem wrong, but just bear with me with how I'm going to use it.
Take your time.
You have a horse, and then you have the person who is steering the horse, and both need each other, and that's why our relationship works, because I may have an idea, but I can't do it alone, right? I might say, you know what? Let's go all the way to California, right? Let's go to California. And I'm like, there's gold there. Like, it's about to be the greatest place ever. Like, you know, like, let's go to California. And Mo might be able to get there, but he has no direction of how exactly to get there. So I have the map, and he has the horsepower. You know what I'm saying? So us working together towards a common goal is what makes things work. You have to have both, and you have to have a bit of both. Like, you gotta be able to go back. You got to do both. Like, Jabril works his tail off too, so don't get that twisted. Yeah. Oh. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all in the house.
Please send the questions into the chat box. It just makes things so much easier, and then we can pull it up. That way everybody can see. You know. Thank you. Come again.
So we got another question. Someone said, in my opinion, if you've been friends with a person, you don't have to cut him or her off. And when you marry, your friend/husband should be best friends. I mean, marry someone who understands you. I 100% agree with that.
Great point.
I 100% agree with that. I have friends. I have female friends. If old girl's like, well, no, then I'll be like, well, then go. then
get to stepping.
Then you're either going to accept that or you're not. And I think we have to stop letting marriages and relationships we have to stop letting relationships abandon who we are for the pursuit of love. Stop. You should love yourself more than that you're going to let someone come in your life who's only known you for a hot second make you abandon people and friends that you've had for either lifetimes or known longer than you've known them, or stop you from making new friends. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, I'm only going to hang out with the homies.
No, new friends.
You know what I'm saying? There's obviously boundaries.
Oh yes.
But yeah, just know this.
But also, like, when you get married, you still can't do everything that you were doing with the homies. You can't be going out every single day, every night, be out till 2 and 3 in the morning. Come on, bro. You got priorities now. You got responsibilities. So man up or woman up. So, but don't. You can still go out there and chill.
All right. So we have the next question. What are steps one should take to become their best self? I'm gonna keep this very simple, please, because we got more questions. Read. Go travel alone. I think you should travel alone.
Yes.
Writing. I think journaling is very important. I think investing in yourself, whether that be going to conferences, whether that be signing up for classes, all of the things, like the things that cost money are really the things that are good for you.
I was gonna ask you, why would I pay for a conference or some sort of course if everything on Google's free?
Well, what I've learned, like, I signed up for a course that cost thousands of dollars recently. Thousands. Like, more than 3, more than 4, more than 5. And what I realized about this course is that, yeah, I can find all this stuff and I can do it, but much like the Quran, it's a guide. Like, these courses and these people, mentors, they're guides. And when, just like any man, like, think about, investing yourself, just like talking to someone that's more experienced. Yeah. Getting a course, someone that's more experienced is teaching you the things that you need to do to get to the goal that you want to get to. Take those steps to make yourself better. Understand who you are and what you want. And don't be unapologetic in those things. Go towards those things. You know what I'm saying? Go towards those things. The question before we left out the last live was, advice for dealing with past trauma that's hardening your heart.
Bro, let that joint go. Like, I know it sounds so simple, but one thing that I see people do, I don't want to say women specifically, but I've seen it more from women, is that when something happens, they just keep playing that joint over and over in their heads. This could have happened 3 months ago. And be like, yeah, you know, that one friend, they made me feel this way. Like, I didn't like that. Okay, did you talk to them about it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I still, like, why are you still playing this in your head? It's done.
Yeah.
Like, think about now. Think about today. If you want to talk with that person and hash it out, go ahead. But, like, you're just hurting yourself. I think one thing that I'm very good at, you can call it bad, is that after something happens, I try to work it out and I accept it. It's part of me now. I'm not with that replaying stuff in my head. I can't, bro. That's not good for my health. That's not good for my mental. That's not good for people around me. It is what it is. I keep it moving, cuzzo.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm learning more and more as time goes on. Because I think a lot of people, I don't think it's just women. I think a lot of people struggle with replaying incidents in their head, of things they should have done better, you know, things that could have gone a certain way. And it's, like, they say it's only done once you heal from it. And the thing is, though,
do you ever
healing is also one of those things where it's like it's overused. Toxic healing,
you don't fully heal from things. I mean, there's
you never heal.
There's stuff when I was a kid, I'm still healing from it, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The thing is that you have to just keep moving, and then you have to take everything in stride. And I didn't understand what that meant before, but like, hey, Tyler was good, bro. Salam, that's my man's right there. Like, I feel as though you never fully heal, but you talk about it and it gets easier as time goes on, and eventually it fades away. It's just like a sore. Like, eventually you don't just sit there and look at it and be like, oh, heal. It's like, no, like you do you take the necessary steps. You put on your Neosporin, you put on some peroxide, you put the Band-Aid on, you take it off, you let it air out. And then, you know, every once in a while, you got to talk to some people. You got to write it down. You got to figure out what is the necessary things that you need to do in order to make sure that you heal from whatever it is that you went through. And sometimes certain things you keep to yourself. Like, it's not necessary for you to put out in the open, but it's between you and Allah. There was this rule book. It was like 20 rules that every man should live by. And one of the rules was that every man should die, and this applies to women too. Every man or woman should die with secrets in their grave. You shouldn't tell everybody everything about you. And it's important because there's certain things that you and Allah should only know.
Yes.
And no one is ever fully going to know you or understand you. And you don't want to try and find validation from someone else's input and opinion to make sense of your life. Sometimes it's just between you and God to talk about and understand. So, I wouldn't feel anything personal. I like that.
No, but one thing that Jabril said that I just started doing that was very, very difficult for me to do. Obviously, I'm doing it with the podcast. Is that I used to keep everything in. So when somebody used to hurt me or something would happen or I would be affected by something, I would keep it in and I wouldn't talk about it because I'm like, why am I going to talk about it? These people don't care about me. Like they have their own problems, but that's not true. When you have good people around you, they really care and they want to help you. And when you talk about it, it's out there in the air and you can actually hear it and visualize it. Okay, you can help talk through the situation, and then the more you talk about it, the less that it's part of you.
Or you can hear how crazy it is. Yeah. You be like, bro, that makes no sense. That makes no sense, bro. Like, I was tripping, bro.
That is true. That is true.
Ayana, you already know.
You already know.
Hey, you already know the vibes, Ayana. Hey, gang. What's happening? You know what it is. She been around for a break too.
V8,
we recognize her
down.
Hey, what's Gucci? Oh yeah, and congrats. The movie that she was working on in Vietnam, or is it Thailand? Vietnam came out. So congrats on that. Yes. Very big. What's the best advice you have ever received?
Oh my gosh.
Ian. That's all I'm gonna say. No, I can't just say that because y'all wouldn't understand it. But for the people that are listening, the best piece of advice I got was that don't chase down behind nobody.
Yeah.
And every day I realize, that advice that I got from my pops from when I was a youngin'. When I was a youth, like a little youth, you feel me? Don't chase down behind nobody, because recognize real, they're always going to come to you, and there's no need to try and make people like you for who you are. So you are best to just be you anyways, and not really fret about the people who don't like you, because the people who like you are always going to come around anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about you?
Two things. The first thing is be you, like Jabril said, because there's nobody like you. Only you can be you. The second thing is that don't care what people think or what people say. Obviously, your reputation is big. Reputation is a big thing, but it's not as serious as people take it. Like, oh, if I do this, what are the people going to say? What are the people going to say that you see once a year? The people that you see during the holidays, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? Man, forget them kids.
Man, F them kids.
Like, what? Man, like, don't worry about people say. As long as you're not doing anything that's detrimental to yourself, to your health, anything that's quote unquote haram, then man, don't worry about it. Just keep doing you.
Ooh. Oh, I know why she asked this question because
oh man.
Mo, I'll let you go first because I'm about to go in on my book recommendation.
All right, I'm only gonna do one book. There's so many different books out there. One book that really did help me, it was the
the most recent one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not like I can't recommend that book. I'm not done with it.
Oh, how you not done with that, bro? You've literally had 3 weeks, bro. You need to just take the time and read. Finish the book, bro.
I was just sitting on the bookcase.
That's what I'm saying. It's
screaming my name.
It's over there collecting dust when it needs to be. You need to be collecting the gems in the joint. Come on,
I'm wilding.
Come on.
But the thing that really did help me was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's my favorite book because it helped me understand finances and helped me understand like, yo, all this stuff out here is, I don't need this BS. You feel me? Like I don't need all this expensive stuff out here, bro. I don't need any more liabilities. I need assets. I need to make sure that I have the opportunity to move freely. And people don't know that money, obviously it can't buy time, but it will give you more time. It frees up your time. So that's what I would say. What about you, Jabril?
My favorite book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
I knew you gonna say that.
I read that book probably once, every now and then, twice a year. The reason is because you personally go through a metamorphosis. Just how your skin, you shed new skin and grow new skin and taste buds every day. You're constantly changing on a regular basis. And this book about this young boy who's on this journey of self-discovery and of self-mastery, I feel is the same story that we all go through on a daily, monthly, yearly basis. We're always trying to discover who we are. And I read that book because every time I read it, it reveals something about what's going on in my life currently of how I should navigate and how I should deal with certain problems or certain events in my life. And so I give that book a 10 out of 10. There's many people that vouch for it.
I read that book after you put me on.
It's an amazing book, and I can't speak highly enough about it. There's a reason why it is the best-selling book ever for a living artist.
I'm about to read that.
Ever.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the best-selling book ever for a living author.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's the most decorated author, I believe, of all time. He's the most decorated author of all time in terms of book sales.
I'm about to read that joint tonight.
Yeah, like it's a quick read. It's very easy. It's just a very well done book.
Yes,
it's very good.
Always appreciate you, Ayan.
All right, yes, thank you, Ayan. You are a gem.
Ooh, I like this.
All right, what are some values, attributes, feelings you want to keep with you throughout your life?
For me, I'm very big on discipline. I've always been a very disciplined person. So it's like, if something needs to get done, it needs to get done no matter what, right? And I like scheduling. I really like scheduling. So if I have a routine in the morning, I do that routine. If I have a routine at night, I like doing that. I really don't like just going out there and just shooting from the hip. Obviously, there's times that you can do that because, I'm a salesperson, so is Jabril, so we have to do that. But I'm shooting from the hip around those boundaries or time schedules I already have. I love putting in time blocks. I love writing things down. I just don't like coming into something blind and not having a plan. So discipline. So how about you?
I think one of the values that I always want to have is go for the adventure. Always play the long game. Go for the adventure, meaning always find the fun in something. Like, don't do, like, I think we get so serious about this life that we, Muslims are very quick to be like, this life is not a joke, it's not a game. But it's like, bro, like, you can't live your whole life just being uptight about life. It's like, bro, live, because we always envy You know, we always envy the people that we see that get to go live and go do travel and do adventures and stuff. And yeah, like life is real, like there's real life out here, but you got to figure out how to enjoy it as well. So I feel like that's something I'm always in pursuit of, how to find the next adventure. I firmly believe that, you know, always smiling, always laughing is something I want to die laughing. Like that's my personal plea to Allah is, if I'm going to die, I want to die with a smile on my face. I want to die laughing. I would much rather die in a circle of my friends of like dying of laughter than die in a bed alone. I think that understanding that I got that juice and that, you know, like I'm that guy. I always want to keep that mentality. Like no matter, even when I take an L, I'm still that guy. Still always that guy. And you guys should feel that way about yourselves as well. Like you know, like you're your best self. You are you, and God made you the way you are. So, you know, just always be curious and never compromising on the things that you believe, and living your best version of this Islam that you can within the parameters of Islam, not just all willy-nilly, but just, you know, really taking a true appreciation for it for yourself and then living it out the best way that you know how. Those are the things I wish I hope to die with.
Facts. Man, y'all crushing it today.
Yeah, man.
I'm proud.
I'm going to say we take this and then maybe we take like one more question.
I'll say yes.
And then we kind of like, we have a few things that we want to say.
Okay.
Advice on living by your values. Sometimes I be slipping.
We all be slipping.
We all be slipping. I think you just have to understand what are the things that are absolutely necessary for you to be you, and to not feel as though you're compromising yourself, right? So, you know, I think a lot of times we compromise for people, we compromise for money, for family, but it's important for you to know what you about and say, you know, like the other day, I was working and this guy came up to me and like disrespected me. And I snapped and I was like, nah, bro, I don't care how old you are. Like you're going to respect me because you're here. I'm selling you. I'm giving to you. I'm being very fair and I'm being very decent to you. You're going to respect me. I don't care about your money. The first thing is respect. And I think that you have to figure out, what is it that you're willing to die for? What is it that you're willing to believe in and die for? And like for me, one of the things is respect. Like you're going to respect me. Everybody that I'm around knows you got to respect me and what I'm about and the things that I believe in. And I think, you know, that's just one example, but it's very important that we set boundaries for how we want to be viewed and treated in this world. And you got to stick to those things. You got to stick by your guns, because no one likes somebody that's wishy-washy in their values, because then no one takes you serious, right? You got to say, who am I? What am I about? And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means I got to die behind what I believe, then so be it. Just like being a Muslim. No one wants a Muslim that's like, oh, well, you know, I kind of believe, but like if someone put a gun to my head, I think I'd be like, nah, take that bullet. No, I'm serious. Take that bullet.
Hey, Billy ain't playing with y'all today.
No, I'm not playing that. When it comes to that on play, it's like, yo, if this podcast would be the enemy, so be it. I would die for what we're doing right now, point blank. Because guess what? One, my position in heaven is as a martyr, first and foremost, right? I have so much belief and faith in what I'm about and this religion and my actions that it's like you gotta be willing to die by that. You gotta be willing to die behind the things that you are shooting for. Your goals, the people you hang with. You gotta be willing. When they say my ride or die, that's what they mean. I would die for this man right here. Don't get it twisted.
Vice versa.
Die, bro.
I'm
not talking I take a no, like die. Like what's up? I would die for my fam. I would die for the people that are close to me because you know that when you have that value system, you don't compromise that. That's important.
Bro, you're exactly right, man. What I would add to that would be two things. One thing is that every day is a new day. Like yesterday is gone. So literally you can't get that time back. You can reflect. Yeah, obviously that's what prayer is, right? And our prophet, peace and praise be upon him, would always reflect. But what happened yesterday is done. You have new 24 hours that are golden. You can't get that back. That's the first thing. Second thing is be a savage, right? Unrelentless in whatever you're doing, whether it's on the soccer field, in the classroom. So for me, whatever job I started, whatever podcast, anytime I start anything, I always look and see, all right, who's the best? All right, this person the best. All right, bet. I'm about to look at everything that this man does. So every job, like I've been doing sales for about 8 years now professionally. Soon I get in there, I'm like, all right, who's the top salesperson? This man. I become his best friend. I sit right next to that man. I look over his shoulder, see what he does. He goes on lunch. I'm looking at his desk. I'm going through his stuff. What is he reading? Like, I'm on it. I'm on it. And I've always been like that. So that's same with this podcast. Well, all right, as soon as you start the podcast, who else is in this space? What are they doing? How can we get better? We want to be the best. So I would say those are the 2 things.
One of the things that you taught me, I remember you went to your Piranhas tryout, right?
Yeah.
And this was around the time where I was starting to come into my own with my playing style.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't like really good. And mind you, I've been playing soccer my whole life. So it wasn't like I would just learn how to play. Like I just wasn't very technical. I didn't really understand the game. And I used to ask Mo, like, bro, like, how do you go on the field and just like, you're just so confident? He was like, bro, because I go out there and I just automatically think I'm the best one out there. Mm-hmm. I think I'm the golden ish. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because like from that moment on, I will always step on the field. I would look at it like, okay, boom, I see, I understand what's going on. And I would step on the field. It got to the point where I would go to a game. I wouldn't know who we were playing. I wouldn't know who my teammates were. All I know is, I'm about to do work. I'm about to work somebody today. And when you go in with that mentality, like, bro, like, I know what I'm about. I know what I got going. Your values, when you know what your worth is, when you know you got that juice, when you know you got that, you hold water, you got that juice, you don't care what anybody else says. You don't care how anybody else plays the game. You know how you play. However, the other side of that is you still got to have humility. You still got to be humble enough to understand that you can still improve. Your values can improve. Your morals can improve. And that you're never too good to be humbled. You're never too good for somebody to put you in your place.
Absolutely, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So remember that. Carry that. And I hope we answer your question. Live by your values.
All right. One more? Are we?
Let's see what these other questions
Man, y'all just coming. And y'all want to do a 5-hour episode, huh? Y'all messing with us today.
Do you have real life mentors or people you look up to? God dang. Finding Noor.
Who's that?
Finding Noor.
Who is that? I'm about to find you, Noor. When I find you, inshallah.
I find you. Same time I find Nemo. Do you have real life mentors and people you look up to? Let's answer. Let's get through these quickly because we have to get to our portion. Yes, I actually talked to one of my mentors today, Imam Mikhail Sadiq. Love you, bro. Love you. I think that all of us need to have mentors, people that we seek for certain things. Yeah. I have people that I talk to as far as relationships. I have people that I talk to as far as work. I think if you have a good relationship with your parents, or if you have both parents, get a good relationship with them because your parents know a lot more than you think, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Your parents know a lot more than you think. What about you? Is there any person that you can name, name?
That somebody that's close to me. I mean, somebody that's been helping me. One of my local. It's difficult because I feel like there's been different mentors for different parts of my life. Like, you know, shout out to the co-founders of Memory Blue, Mark and Chris. Like, they helped me a lot. They showed me how to run a business and still have a shit ton of fun and do it with your homie. You feel me? Yeah. I like they're definitely good people that I still talk to this day. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Nice. How would you respond if someone made fun of your style or thoughts on style?
You talking about clothing or?
All right, so I'm just gonna give you a little story time. Triple instinct. My fault. I used to dress a certain way. I dress pretty much the same way that I've always dressed. I haven't really changed my style over the years. My mom used to dress me for a minute. I ain't ashamed about it. And the clothes I was wearing in middle school, everybody's kind of wearing now. Not the ripped jeans and stuff, but just kind of like the fit, you know, the kind of clean cut style. I've always dressed like that. And now people are catching up. So all the people that used to joke me, guess what? Now you're dressing like me, homie. Ha. Laughs on you. So what I'm going to say is this. If you go down our feed, there's a video where I said this. You do you, and they're going to catch up to you. You set the trend.
You set the
You're the trend. Dress how you're going to dress. and you set the trend, and they'll catch up to you. Do your thing.
Yeah, it took me some time. Oh,
sorry about that.
We back. Yeah, let's go through the joint. Fire round, bro. Let's go to.
All right. How do you know you should go on business with a friend when you're polar opposites?
Oh man, I mean, I would definitely be careful going to business with a friend. The thing about Jabril and I is that we're good friends, but we can put each other in our place very, very quickly. Like, he ain't gonna let me get away with no BS, and I'm not gonna let him get away with any BS. So before you think like, oh, is this my friend? You gotta think like, okay, one, can I trust this person? Two, is this person gonna ride with me no matter what? Or when the going gets tough, is he gonna rock? I think those are the two biggest things. And third, how's your communication style? Do you guys communicate well with each other? Can you guys handle seeing each other all the time?
We see each other a lot, bro.
All the time.
And I love it, man. Like, I have no issues with it. I think one question to add to that is, if things blow up, is our friendship going to be in jeopardy? Ooh. I don't think there's nothing that I can think of that could happen that I'd be like, nah, like, I don't bang with Mo. Like, I literally, like, you can name everything. I'm like, nah. Nope.
Unless you touch my mom, and that's right. If I knew I ain't playing.
Yeah. How do you pick up from a failure or rock bottom in terms of self-worth and going after it? We kind of answered this already, but short answer mode. You got one?
Once you hit rock bottom, ask for help. You're already at the bottom, so ask for help. People are going to send down a lifeline. They're going to send you a rope. They're going to help you get you back up, dust you off, and once you're clean, you can get back to it. So
100%.
Don't be afraid. Yeah.
All right, this is...
Hey, man, these questions keep coming in.
We said the last question. Who are 3 people who have been most influential to you?
I would definitely say Jabril. Outside of my family and everything, I would say Jabril. His pops. I mean, I'll just say your family. That's one thing.
Okay, cool.
Jabril's family, the younger Muslim, like the audience, and third, definitely Mr. Garrity, like my financial advisor. He's the one that helped me really get out of my shell and helped me get on my sales trajectory, which kind of helped me start this podcast, have me confident in my voice and the way I speak and kind of elaborating on things. So, what about you?
I'll have to say Dr. Yall.
Okay.
My man, Dr. Yall.
You like Yall?
Yeah, Yall, that was my man's. That, like, me, we actually spent a lot of time together, like, outside the classroom. He's a really good dude. Someone else has been very influential for me. My man Pablo. I love Pablo. Yeah, Pablo that's one of my best friends, man.
That's a good man.
Yeah, he is one of the best human beings I've ever met. And it's funny because a lot of people's perception of him is very bad, but I can say without a doubt that Pablo is, like, he gave me a chance when no one else was giving me chances. He took me under his wing. Like, he helped me, like, he trusted me with the keys to, like, a business that he put hundreds of thousands of dollars in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally...
He let you run the joint,
he let me run the joint. He gave me a lot of power that no one had ever really given me before. He trusted me. He still trusts me. Unfortunately, you know, with Corona, I don't get to see him as often. But inshallah, I'll be able to see him again very soon. But I can't overstate. I can't, like, you guys can tell by how I'm kind of rambling with it. Yeah, I owe Pablo a good portion. And then another person, I would definitely have to say a third person has been very influential. Man, that's tough. I'll have to say Nipsey Hussle. I think Nip Hussle, the great, rest in peace. I think the mentality, the influence that he's had on me in terms of his music, in terms of how he looks at himself and portrays himself, how he positions himself within his groups around him, the rooms that he enters himself in, has influenced me to really take that same route. A lot of this podcast is also I guess, you know, the way we position ourselves in this space is based off of a model that he put out there first and foremost. It's about independence and ownership. And you know, always looking to be better, never, always remaining humble, never being too good to know that you can't improve. Guys, so we made a decision very early when we did 100 that we wanted to incorporate you guys, and we want to. This isn't going to be the last time we do this, and it's not going to be episode 200 when we decide to do this. But we want to incorporate you guys because we want you guys to see that when we hit milestones, it's not about us two. It's about you guys. It's about the countless amount of hours that you guys listen. We had somebody that found us during Ramadan and listened to every episode before Ramadan ended. I did the math. That means that she listened to us about 5.5 hours of our voices every day of Ramadan.
Bruh.
Every day she listened to us during the month of Ramadan. And I was like, subhanAllah, like that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? We're here to stay, guys. We sacrifice life and limb to make sure that we can help influence the next generation of Muslims. We can help influence this generation of Muslims because we love you guys and we're part of this mission. And we didn't hit a milestone. We hit a milestone. All of us hit a milestone together. So don't get it twisted, all right? Like we did this together. Every listener, every commenter, every DM you guys send, it goes a very long way to making what you guys are seeing right now. So we're happy to be here. Inshallah, we can see 1,000 more episodes. Masha you guys can Allah. Be around because the brand is undeniable. The brand is brolic. We here. We with it. We with the smoke. You already know what it is. Brillo out.
Get it. Mamba out. Mo out. At that point, let's go ahead and wrap this joint up, bro.
All right. So for the last 2.5 hours, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And this is episode 100 of the Young and Muslim Podcast, and we leave with the greens of people. Whoa.
I wanted you to finish before. Yeah, come on. We slow down there, buddy.
So Muhammad, if people want to listen to us,
yes, good man,
on the go,
yes,
where can they listen?
If you want to listen to us, hold on.
It's episode 100. We're still screwing up the outro.
Come on, man. So if you want to listen to us on your drive, on your walk, while using the bathroom, it don't matter. So don't do that. But
I don't care.
Listen to us on all the major listening platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Pandora. I mean, the list goes on. Any major platform we are on.
Yes,
bro, if they want to watch us and shoot us a direct message, how can they do that?
Well, if you guys want to talk to us or you want to join our next live that we eventually do, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Young and Muslim. That's YOUNG, the letter N, Muslim, Young and Muslim at Twitter and Instagram. But you can also see these beautiful faces on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes on YouTube by looking up the Young and Muslim Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe and do what, Mo?
The bell notification. Bell and leave a review. So somebody said,
we're supposed to leave the bell notification. Ding. It seemed I said 100 in. We're still doing this. But yeah, he was right. Make sure you guys hit the reviews. Yes. We need reviews.
Finally, Noor said, do you guys have a Patreon? We do not have a Patreon. We do not have any plans to create one. So if you want to support us, you can donate via Cash App, $ Young and Muslim, just like our Instagram name. So
yes,
support us.
Young and Muslim.
Thank you.
And if you want to send to like Venmo or
shoot us a DM.
Or yeah, just shoot us a DM. If you want to send us money, just shoot us a DM. Yeah. We may create a Patreon, a Patreon like service, but we don't think it'll be through Patreon.
We will see.
When we say ownership, we mean it.
Now it's time to wrap it up.
All right. So for the last 2.5 hours, you have been listening to the Young and Muslim Podcast. I'm Jabril Salam.
And Muhammad Hassan.
And this is episode 100 of the Young and Muslim Podcast. And so we leave with the greens of peace.
Assalamu
alaikum. Peace. Love you guys.
Love ya.